Yo, what's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Will Mantho. How you doing, Will?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
I'm chilling, dude. Ready to play some cards. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Will, it's been a little while.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I was here, honestly. So
Yes, it's been a minute,
yeah.
but I'm excited to have you back on, man. What's been going on in the life of Will Mantho? Anything new?
Not really. Just working at Full Grip Games, pretty much.
Yes. So if you've ever ordered cards from FullGripGames.com, or the other place that you could get cards for Full Grip, which we shall not speak of. Yes, you could bet that we'll probably package your order or pick the cards for your order at the very least.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, most likely. If it was on days from any day but Monday and Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's it, Tuesday, Wednesday. Because
Yeah.
today's your day off.
Yep.
But you're back
I'm
here
back
at the
here.
Grip. Yeah, who doesn't love spending their days off at work, man? It's great stuff. But you get to play cards today.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been a fan of retro decks, which is funny because, Will, when I met you, you were probably, what, like 15 or 16?
So I was 17 when I met you.
17. But
Yeah.
when you met Natalie,
I was like 12, yeah.
yeah, you were like 12. And one of Natalie's earliest stories of you is you coming to League with a deck with and talking about how the older decks were cooler
Mm-hmm.
than the decks that were in current standard. So this was probably in 2012?
Yeah.
And you were talking about how the 2010 decks were way better.
Oh, yeah.
So even when Will was 12 years old, Will was into retro decks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so to say that, retro decks are a passion is, I'd say, accurate.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you've already built just about every single 2010 deck, possible.
Well, I have 16 now, but I used to have like 24, and then I got rid of the bad 8 ones because they were just too bad to keep built. So I only kept the decks that you can actually play, really. So
Right. I mean, because sometimes it's fun to build the goofy bad decks, but then they don't actually ever win.
No, not really. Yeah.
Yeah, and playing when you lose constantly is not a ton of fun.
No.
But you've got your 2010 decks. That format's kind of figured out.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that Jump Bluff is the best deck. Jump Bluff is my favorite 2010 deck, and I'll go to bat for Jump Bluff, any day of the week. But now you've expanded.
Yep.
And you've built what format?
2011.
Now, what appealed to you about the 2011 format?
Well, I think when I first came to Natalie's League, I had this deck. I was trying to build this deck right here, actually. So, it's basically the format where I started paying attention to the competitive scene. Because in 2010, I was aware of how good the decks were, but I wasn't aware of the scene at all. So, I started paying attention in 2011, and I thought the primes looked awesome. So
The primes do look awesome.
yeah.
And something that's really sick about the primes is, like the old lowercase EX cards, they have holographic borders.
Yes. So beautiful.
Check your mic. Yeah, make sure that that's not drifted back. You see how it's kind of drifted back on your head?
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go. Yeah, just make sure that doesn't happen.
All right.
You good, bro. Yes, the holographic border, though, so sick. We've also got some 2004 decks here with the original lowercase Pokemon-ex. We just got the announcement that Pokemon-ex are going to return to the Pokemon DCG. During yesterday's stream, I went through my theory that these new EX cards are also going to have holographic borders. Will, before the stream, you were talking about the excitement of being a kid and pulling a card with a holographic border.
Oh yeah.
What's that? Do you think that there's just something about that really makes the cards feel special?
Yeah, because when you open a pack and you just see the silver border immediately, you just get this rush of excitement. But now even pulling a V or a GX does not feel the same as just seeing this beautiful silver hollow border in the pack. I can't really explain how it feels.
It really it's inexplicable, right? Something about these cards from this era really are exciting. I love the 2011 era because there are no two prize Pokemon.
Well, there are, but
Well, there are. Okay. The legends.
Yes,
I
the
forgot about the
legends.
legends. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the legends that we've got in 2011.
So the legend Pokemon were introduced in Heart Gold Soul Silver, the first set, and they were just Ho-Oh and Lugia. But they were so Ho-Oh and Lugia had their each separate cards, and you needed to. They were so the whole card was split into two, kind of like the V Unions now, except there was just two pieces.
We got one around here, don't we?
Yeah, it's in that deck.
Okay, cool.
And in order to play them, you had to play both at the same time on your bench, and you can't start the game with one, even if you have both in your opening hand.
Right. So they're right because they're not basic Pokemon.
And they are not evolution Pokemon, so yeah.
Just like actually Pokemon V Union, how Pokemon V Union are not basics. There we go. That is a Rayquaza and Deoxys legend card. So you had to search out. You couldn't search out these cards with cards like the collector.
No.
So you had to use Pokemon Communication.
Yep.
Is basically the one. You could use a card like Ultra Ball, but that wasn't legal during this time. So any card that searches out Pokemon could get a legend piece.
Mm-hmm.
These cards are really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're beautiful cards, and you could see how V Union cards kind of take inspiration from these, but obviously to the next level.
Yeah.
I feel like a 4-piece card is a little goofy.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-piece cards, though, I mean, these things actually saw competitive play.
Yeah, that one was really good. Entei Raikou Legend was pretty good, and Suicune and Entei was played in this format as well, but the rest of them were not very good.
Right. I mean, because they're a little gaudy, a little bit difficult to get into play, but they have some attacks that are extremely powerful.
Yes.
So these cards are your 2-prizers. They have, which is crazy because like your 2-prizers had as much hit points as your single-prizers, really, but just that you had to evolve to get these into play. The balance was so much different back then. Imagine if the Pokemon EX that are coming out in the Sword and Shield block had the same amount of hit points as a Stage 2 Pokemon. 170?
Crazy.
It's crazy to think about, yes. So, yes, the balance of the game has certainly shifted, but we are going to be returning to the Stage 2-prize Pokemon thing, which was the very first 2-prize Pokemon were all basics. The 2-prize Pokemon, the original lowercase Pokemon EX from the Ruby and Sapphire base set, they're all basics. And they were all terrible. I think that, I don't know, maybe just the game design is a little worried about introducing these overpowered Pokemon to the game. But, yeah, all those original ones, the Electabuzz, the Magmar EX, the Sneasel EX, Scyther EX, they're all really, really bad.
Yeah.
If you want to see something funny, go take a look at the EX Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire and compare those to some of the other Pokemon from the time, and they are just miserable. But they quickly started ramping up the power of them, as we saw. I think actually the Mewtwo EX is probably the most powerful one from the original Ruby and Sapphire set.
Yeah.
Is this Ruby and Sapphire? I think it is, yes.
Yeah.
That's Ruby and Sapphire, yeah. So the Mewtwo, I think, is the best one from the Ruby and Sapphire set, which I actually do have Jimmy Ballard's Top 32 World Championship Mewtwo deck from 2004, which we're going to be showing off today. And then as soon as Sandstorm hit, you started getting some really cool, powerful Stage 2 Pokemon EX, like Gardevoir, I think maybe Swampert. Is Swampert in Sandstorm? Probably not.
Isn't it in Team Magma versus Team Aqua? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. But you started getting some better Stage 2 evolved Pokemon EX. So we've got Gardevoir EX is one of those. And what's really neat about this is that you've got Pokemon like Gardevoir EX, which are Stage 2 Pokemon EX with powerful attacks. And you've got Gardevoir from the Ruby and Sapphire set, both in the same deck, and they both evolve from the same line, right? You've got Kirlia, you've got Ralts, and they evolve into both of these Pokemon. So that was a really neat part about the original EX era that we're going to see return to the Pokemon trading card game with the return of the Pokemon-ex mechanic. We've got a bunch of decks that feature Magnezone, which is cool because Magnezone was one of the first new age Pokemon-ex that we saw revealed during the World Championships. This Magnezone Prime, it's one of the strongest Magnezones, one of the strongest cards, really.
Extremely strong card, yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely dominated this format. So a lot of decks that feature Magnezone with its magnetic draw ability lets you fill your hand to 6. Whenever this card is in a cube, I don't know if you've ever drafted or anything like that, it's always like an insta-grab.
Yeah.
Because like whatever format this card is in,
it's going to be good. No matter what.
It's good. Yeah, fill your hand to 6, and then it's got infinite damage ceiling with its Lost Burn attack. That's cool, too. We got the Lost Zone mechanic, and we've got Lost Zone coming back.
It's pretty cool.
Wow, our stream today is more relevant than I thought. That's pretty neat. So, I think we're going to kick some things off with, what do you want to start with? Well, you want to start with 2011?
I want to do 04 first.
04 first?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll take the funny Mewtwo EX Gorebyss deck. And would you like Blaziken, Gardevoir, or the Aqua deck?
Well, I want to show off the EXs, but I think this deck is a little too good, so I'm going to play the Gardevoir deck.
I think that seems fine. So we've got a battle of the Psychic-type Pokemon. Will and I are going to be showing off Gardevoir versus Mewtwo EX. Now, like we've been doing with the tabletop gameplay, we are not going to be putting up card scans during the match so that I can focus on other parts of the production. And we are also filming for a YouTube exclusive video, which I will cut up and edit later. If you'd like to keep up with what all of the cards do, definitely make sure to check out pkmncards.com. It's my favorite place to look up card scans and learn about cards. It's an incredible database that is created by Adam Capriola, the former head of sixprizes.com. He does a great job with it, and I think it's an excellent resource for the community, so definitely make sure to check that out if you want to know what all the cards do. But Will and I will do our best to make sure that we're kind of explaining our plays and explaining what the cards do so that you guys can watch and follow along easily. But again, this is going to be raw footage so that we can cut it up and make it into a nice YouTube video later. Now, the 2004 rules are a little bit different than our modern rules, aren't they, Will?
Actually, only a tiny bit different, but
only a tiny bit different.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah, because you can't. So the player going first cannot play a supporter, but they also do not draw a card. But you can attack going first.
So no supporter turn 1 going first, which is the same.
Yes.
And you could play as many items as you want.
Yep.
Except they weren't called items then.
No, they're called trainers.
Trainers, yeah.
Yes.
And you can attach, you can do all of that. So the only real difference is no draw, and you can attack.
Yes, you can attack.
So 2 differences. Cool. And then the player that wins the coin flip, I think, has to go first.
Yeah, that's how it was until, I think, Black and White.
Yeah, there was no choosing. You won, you went first.
Yeah.
How were Burn and Confusion at the time? Sheesh.
Was Confusion you have to flip to retreat still? I don't think so.
I don't think that Confusion was flipped to retreats, but I think Burn
was you flip before you took the damage.
Yes.
So that was really bad.
Right, because a lot of times you had to flip in order to burn, and then the player might just, but then they stayed burn. They didn't heal of burn.
Yeah.
So, they flipped every turn between. So that was the burn rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was that. Very cool. All right, Will. Now, just to explain real quick what the decks do, I think that'd be nice for anybody watching. So let's go ahead and just do a quick rundown. I'm going to be playing Mewtwo EX. This is Jimmy Ballard's list from the 2004 World Championships. Mewtwo EX, probably the best Pokemon lowercase EX from the Ruby and Sapphire set. So a pretty big deal. It's got 100 hit points and the energy absorption attack, which allows you to attach up to 2 energy cards from your discard pile to Mewtwo EX. So we're going to want to get energy in the discard pile early, and then energy absorption, that energy back into play. Then we can use Cyburn, which does 60 damage for 3 energy. Now, Mewtwo is combined with, we've got Delcatty, who has and Delcatty is one of the most popular draw cards, draw engines. Think of Delcatty as this format's Drizzile and Inteleon. It's every deck pretty much plays Delcatty for its energy draw Pokepower, which allows you to discard an energy from your hand and draw 3 cards. So that pairs really well with Mewtwo EX, since you can put energy into the discard pile and draw. A lot of decks will also run Magneton, because if you're discarding all of your energy, then you're going to want to get it back. So then you use Magneton, which allows you to discard a card from your hand and get 2 basic energy back from your discard pile. If anybody here plays Gym Leader Challenge format, then you're going to recognize this magnetic field Pokepower, the same as Starmie's Space Beacon ability. It's the same as Starmie from the Evolutions set. This Magneton was paired with Delcatty to form one of the most cohesive draw engines during this time. And then as our late game sweeper, we have got Gorebyss. Gorebyss is just a stage 1 Pokemon with 70 hit points, and it's got the Mystic Water attack, which does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each psychic energy in play. So we're going to try and accelerate psychic energy in play with our Mewtwo, and then launch big Mystic Water attacks with Gorebyss. Gorebyss also has free retreat, making it a very nice Pokemon to have in play. And that's the main idea of the deck. We've also got cards like TV Reporter, which allow us to get energy into the discard pile. You can draw 3 cards, then discard a card from your hand. And yeah, that's basically it. We got Psychic Energy, Double Rainbow Energy can help us to attack with Gorebyss easily. A very fun and novel deck. What do you got, Will?
So I'm playing the Gardevoir/Gardevoir EX deck.
Oh, I just realized I'll switch to this cam to show off your deck.
Nice.
Boom. There we go.
So this card lets you... well, first of all, we play the same cards that Andrew does in his deck. We play the Delcatty. We also play... I think we play the Magneton. Yeah, we do. So we do play the Magneton. Magnetic Field lets you get back your energy. And then... probably go over this Gardevoir first. So this Gardevoir, once during your turn, you can search your deck for a Psychic Energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, and then you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. And its attack for 1 Psychic Energy does 10 times the total amount of energy attached to Gardevoir and the defending Pokemon. And then the EX feedback is a very broken attack. It
really good.
For Psychic and a colorless. Count the number of cards in your opponent's hand, and you put that many damage counters on the defending Pokemon, so you can really punish your opponent for building their hand. And then a Psystorm for a Psychic and 3 colorless does 10 times the total amount of energy in play for all Pokemon.
Yeah, so this could be a pretty tough matchup for me, considering I'm trying to get a lot of energy in play.
Yeah.
And you punish me for having a lot of energy in play. But I do have a nice single prize attacker in Gorebyss.
You do.
And your Gardevoir EX is... well, it's weak to Psychic, but I guess so is Mewtwo, huh? So,
yep.
So that's going to be kind of an interesting situation to dance around. I'm excited to see these Pokemon EX in action. Let's start a prediction. See if what deck players in the chat think is going to take this game. Will it be Young Will Mantho? Or Elder Tricky Jim? Let's see. Who will win? Will it be Guardy with Will? Mewtwo with Andrew. And you've got... Well, not letting me click that. We've got it. Nope. You've got 30 seconds. Twitch is being difficult. 30 seconds to predict. All right, Will, I think we're shuffled up.
Yep.
Would you like heads or tails?
Heads. I have to go first, so I'll go
Yes, you
first.
do.
Ah, yes.
Do your prizes, yeah, real
Yes.
nice, like.
Yes.
Yeah, just like they taught you in school. All right, very good. All right, good luck, Will.
Good luck. So no draw. It's pretty convenient. I can play this friend ball, which I have to choose one of my opponent's Pokemon, and then I search my deck for a Pokemon with the same type as it, and I put it into my hand. So since Andrew has a Mewtwo out, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this Ralt, I think. Yeah. I'll bench the Ralt. And then I think I'm gonna attach a Psychic Energy to my Ralt, or I could put it to the active to give me your treat out for next turn. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and power up the Ralts now. So I'll attach to the Ralt on the bench and pass it over to you.
Cool. I'll draw for turn. I've got a pretty explosive looking opening hand with 2 copies of Dual Ball. Dual Ball is one of those cards that I really wish they'd reprint in Standard. It is a risky card. You flip 2 coins for each heads. You get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon card and put it into your hand. With 2 copies of Dual Ball, surely I'll be able to get some basic Pokemon to set up my board.
Almost positively.
Definitely. I'll play Dual Ball number 1. Let's roll 2 at a time.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
Yeah, way cooler, right? Dual Ball number 1. Well, that's double tails.
Let's see.
Dual Ball number 2.
All right, well, you got one.
We did, we did get one. There we go.
All right, it all evens out, guys.
Yeah, there we go. So with Dual Ball, I'm going to want to get cards to help me set up my Delcatty so that I can use its energy draw Pokepower. So I'm definitely going to get a Skitty. Then I've already got a Magnemite in my hand. So with Dual Ball, I'm going to get Skitty and Clamperl. Put them into my hand and shuffle up. Another thing that's interesting about this format is the supporters are supposed to stay next to your active.
Yes.
That's going to be a little bit difficult for me to remember, but I'm going to do my best. I'll bench Clamperl, bench Skitty, and bench Magnemites. And then what's this juggler do? Discard up to 2 basic energy cards from your hand. If you discarded 1 basic energy, draw 3. If you discarded 2 basic energy, draw 5. That's cool. Okay. I'll play Juggler, which allows me to discard up to 2 basic energy from my hand. If I discard 1, I draw 3. If I discard 2, I draw 5. I only have 1, so I'll discard the Psychic and draw 3 cards. Awesome. I'm getting ready to discard it, but it's got to stay. So then I'm thinking that Double Rainbow can only be attached to an evolved Pokemon, so I can't use that. I'm going to attach Psychic Energy to my Mewtwo EX and use Energy Absorption to attach the Psychic Energy from my discard pile to Mewtwo. And then it's your turn.
Draw for turn. Decent draw. So now I can play the supporter in my hand, Steven's Advice, which lets me draw a number of cards up to my opponent's Pokemon in play. But I can't play it if I have 7 or more cards in my hand. So 4. So I'll draw 4 cards. Oh, yep. So used to doing that. Kind of a strange scenario here. I think I don't want to evolve yet, just in case Andrew can take the knockout next turn. I know there's no like boss's orders type card in the format, so my bench is like decently safe. So I think for now I'm gonna play a rare candy, which lets me skip a stage, so pick a basic Pokemon and then put the stage 2 right on top of it. I'll do the regular Gardevoir. And then I'm going to use the Psyshadow Pokepower, which searches my deck for a Psychic and attaches it to one of my Pokemon, and then puts 2 damage counters on it. So I'll put on the Gardevoir on the bench.
Yeah, Gardevoir is definitely scary. Its energy burst attack can take a knockout if there's 5 energy between us.
Yes, which will happen next turn most likely, so I'm just waiting for Andrew to do something because my hand is not optimal at the moment. So I think I'm going to pass it over to Andrew once again.
I'll draw for turn. And my hand is looking real bad. Exceptionally bad.
Nice. We love to hear.
I want to save this Mewtwo, though, and it's possible that Will could get a knockout on my Mewtwo EX, which would be terrible for me. So I'm going to use Warp Points.
Ooh.
Which is the same as Escape Rope. Both players switch their active Pokemon.
It is the exact same card.
So I'm going to promote Magnemites, and then I'm just going to pass it back over to Will.
Alrighty. Draw for turn. So, pretty unfortunate. I guess it's fine now. I can evolve and then play the Stevens, because you cannot play Stevens with 7 or more cards in your hand. Even though the card says more than 7, it was errated later to say 7 or more. So we do have to play the way it was intended. So I'll evolve the Magneton, or the Magnemite on the bench, and then play Steven's Advice, draw 4 more cards. And that's pretty good. Now we can actually get set up here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and bench the Skitty, bench a Dunsparce, and then I'll use Psyshadow once again. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my Dunsparce. Get 2 damage on it.
Now what's funny is that the Gardevoir, you would think, would have an easy time knocking out Magnemites.
Nope.
Not at all. Actually, it's doing 20 damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Needs a lot more energy on it to do that. So this is pretty cool. So we can... yes. I'm always going to forget that. I'm going to retreat the Gardevoir into the Dunsparce. And then I'm going to use Magnetic Field, which lets me discard a card from my hand and put 2 basic energy from a discard into my hand. So I'm going to discard... I like all these cards, so I have to gotta pick one. I'll discard the Copycat. and get back 2 Psychic Energy. And then since I use Psy Shadow to get this energy in play, I can still have my attachment for turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attach from hand to the Gardevoir. Then I'm going to use Strike and Run with Dunsparce, which searches my deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon, and I can put them on my bench. And then I can choose to switch Dunsparce with one of my bench Pokemon if I want to. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep the Dunsparce active to protect the rest of my guys.
Yeah, Dunsparce is one of the best setup Pokemon in this format. Almost every deck plays Dunsparce for its strike and run attack, but this deck that Jimmy Ballard made is just using dual balls to help get basic Pokemon into play. It's supposed to be a faster, more aggressive deck.
So I'm going to grab 2 Ralts, put them on my bench, and then my turn is over.
I'll draw for turn. Shoot. That is not a very good draw for me. So as soon as you're done shuffling,
Yep.
I'm going to pass it back over to you.
Cool. Draw for turn. Now I can evolve into Delcatty, broken Pokemon. Let's see here. I would have loved to get the Bellossom in play, but I ended up prizing my Oddish, so I cannot use its Pokepower, which lets me just remove 2 damage counters whenever I want per turn, which is very good. So here, do have an Oracle in my hand, which lets me just choose to support her, lets me choose 2 cards from my deck and just put them on top, so I can easily draw them with the Delcatty. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to play Oracle. I think it's an Italian Oracle. Can't really tell.
It is.
Yeah.
Oracolo.
Pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and Oracle. And I will search for... Let's see here. If we want to get more Gardevoir in play. So I think... What's my hand looking like? I'm going to go ahead and grab that card. And probably like this card. Seems pretty good. And then those go on top of my deck. I use Energy Draw to discard energy from my hand and draw 3 cards. So I'm going to evolve one of the Ralts into Kirlia, play a Rare Candy on the other Ralts into Gardevoir EX. Then I will use Gardevoir's Psy Shadow, searches for a Psychic, and puts it in play, and then they take 2 damage. So I'm going to put it on the Gardevoir EX. Another 2 damage. And then as you can see, there's some pretty obvious synergy with Magnezone and Delcatty. Basically just gives you an infinite 3 cards for the entire game, which is extremely strong. So I'm going to go ahead and use Magnetic Field to put the energy back in my hand.
Did you discard something?
For Delcatty, yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. And then...
Did you discard for Magnetic Field?
Oh, no, sorry. Yes. I will discard Skitty. And then I will attach from my hand to Gardevoir EX. And how many cards are in your hand right now?
I've got 5.
Attacking does not seem very good, even though I'll take the knockout, because Andrew can just come up and potentially... I guess I don't want to put my Gardevoir in that much of a risk, though. So I think I'm going to use Sudden Flash, which flips a coin, and if heads, the defending Pokemon is paralyzed. And it is a heads.
There we go. I had to think about that for a second. 10 damage. I'll draw for turn. Ooh, baby. I'm going to bench Clamperl, and I will pass it back to you.
Alrighty. So we're in a pretty commanding spot right now.
I'd say so.
Yeah. I think I'm going to use another Oracle. So choose 2 from my deck and put them on top. And I'm sure it's a huge mystery to what I'm going to pick here. But I'm going to pick those 2 cards.
Yeah, the Oracle Delcatty combo is so strong because it allows you to just, is tutor the right word? You can tutor whatever you want on top of your deck, and then you can draw into it. That's a Magic term, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they use that in Magic the Gathering. There we go.
Oh.
Showing my trading card game knowledge here.
And then I will discard Psychic Energy with Delcatty to draw 3 cards. Evolve into another Gardevoir. And I would like to speed up the game a little bit here, but because I know Andrew's in a bad spot, and I guess I want to capitalize as soon as possible. And for Andrew to take the knockout on my Gardevoir EX, he would need some sort of damage modifier, because I have 130 hit points left. I think I'm just going to keep Sudden Flashing, though. I think that's a good strategy. So, yes, I will... First I'm going to use one Size Shadow, for sure. Put that on the EX. I'm not going to use the other one just yet. And what do I have? My discard. I'm going to use Magnetic Field, discard Friend Ball. Puts the energy back in my hand. And then I will use Sudden Flash.
Ooh, paralyzed.
Nice.
10 more damage, and I'll draw for turn. Okay. I will attach a Psychic Energy to Mewtwo EX, and I will pass it to you.
Very cool. So now I feel a little more comfortable with the board state, you know, because Andrew is looking to attack with his Mewtwo soon, so we need to prepare something at least. I would really like to get the Bellossom out so I could just negate the damage from Gardevoir's Size Shadow. But I think we're just going to chill at the moment and use Sudden Flash once again.
Dang. I'll draw. More energy is good. It just means that I'm going to be able to do more damage with my Clamperl. My Gorebyss means I'm going to be able to do more damage with my Gorebyss whenever I find one. So, I think I'm going to attach multi-energy to my Clamperl on the bench, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Multi-energy is a pretty unique card. It provides one of any type of energy, unless it has another special energy attached to it. So you can't have like a double colorless or a twin or something and a multi and have multi provide like a rainbow effect.
It's a really good special energy card, but right, you can't combo it with cards like double rainbow energy.
So here, I'm just going to hold steady. I'm going to attach from my hand. No, I'm going to use Size Shadow. Put a Psychic onto the other bench Gardevoir. And then I'm just going to Sudden Flash this Magnemite until it is knocked out. So, Sudden Flash. Another heads.
Insane.
4 in a row, boys. Let's get it.
I'll draw. Ooh, baby. That is going to be a... Let's see, Delcatty. Delcatty, you have to discard an energy card. Doesn't have to be basic. Okay. Good to know. Let's warp points.
Another warp point, huh? Well, I prefer to keep the draw over the... let's see. So if Andrew can do 70 damage to my Delcatty, I would be surprised. So I think I'm going to promote the Delcatty.
Cool. I am going to promote my Clamperl.
Very nice.
And I will pass.
Cool. So, what does this do? Oh, man. So it just takes 10 less damage?
Yep.
That's annoying, because I could knock it out this turn with the boost energy, which provides 3 colorless energy to an evolved Pokemon. There's an evolved Pokemon? Yeah, an evolved Pokemon. For 1 turn, and then at the end of your turn, you discard it. So, I think I definitely want to get this Delcatty out of the active spot and just keep Sudden Flashing. Seems pretty good. Although I do no damage with Sudden Flash.
That was my thought.
Yeah, which is not good.
I'm trying to buy more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I could. The problem is if I use Feedback with Gardevoir EX, Andrew has an easy return knockout. But it also like forces him to do that, and I have an easy knockout with my Gardevoirs. So I think forcing Andrew to do something here is like not the worst play ever. So how many cards in your hand?
I've got 5.
Okay. So I will attach for turn. I'll use 1 Side Shadow. Put a Psychic from my deck onto this Gardevoir. Another 20 damage. And then my hand's looking pretty good here, so I really don't want to play a supporter. I'll retreat. Go into the Gardevoir EX.
No, Clamperl.
Clamperl's going down. I'll use Feedback.
Feedback counts the number of cards in my hand and places that many damage counters on the defending Pokemon.
Yep.
So Clamperl takes 5 damage counters, and Will takes the first prize.
Very cool.
Okay, well, I will promote my Mewtwo EX and draw for turn. That was not a great card for me to find, but it's okay. I'll bench another Mewtwo EX, and I'll attach a Psychic Energy to Clamperl, and I'll Psyburn for 120 damage, the knockouts, and 2 prizes.
Very nice. I'm glad you could take a knockout this game.
Me too.
Pretty cool.
Let it be noted that I am actually winning.
Somehow. So we took like the best possible prize we could have taken, which is the Oddish. So now I can eventually get the Blossom in play and start healing my Pokemon and negating some of that Side Shadow damage. Cards in hand?
I've got 6.
Okay, you got 6 cards in your hand. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use Magnetic Field, discarding a Curlier that I don't need anymore for 2 Psychic Energy. And I'll discard for Energy Draw and draw 3. That's beautiful. So I will play Rare Candy on my Oddish, go into Blossom, which just, once during my turn, I can just heal 2 damage from one of my Pokemon. So I'm going to take 2 from the active and put it to 20.
Sheesh. It's really good.
Yeah, definitely one of the best Pokemon in this format for sure.
Yeah, Chris Fulop really popularized that tech during this time. He ended up getting second at the 2004 World Championships with a Blaziken EX deck featuring Blossom.
Yeah, it's actually a really underrated card, and also you can attack with it if you really need to, because it does resist water by 30, and it's, you know, against Swampert, it's a great attacker.
Against Swampert, against Groudon, I think.
Yeah, has a really rough time dealing with 100 HP is, you know, still pretty big. I mean, the Gardevoir only have 100 HP, so does the Mewtwo. So
yep,
not terrible if we absolutely need to use it. So I have not attached for turn, I believe.
Is it old rare candy? What do we decide about rare candy rules?
It's old candy, isn't it?
It's old rare candy rules, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm almost positive.
Yes, but then we decided that during 2011, it's not old candy.
2011 is new candy rules.
Yes, but old candy rules, you could do it instantly. Yes.
Very back when they wanted evolution Pokemon to be good.
Yep. Yep.
It was the Wild West out there. Pretty insane. So I'm going to attach to this Gardevoir from my hand. And then I will use Energy Burst. So there's 5 total energy, and it does 50 damage times 2.
100 damage, and my Mewtwo EX goes down. Things are happening now. We'll at just 3 prizes remaining. I'll promote Clamperl, and we are going to hope that I get something off the top of the deck. I finally find Delcatty.
There you go.
So I can evolve my Skitty into Delcatty, and then I'm going to use its energy, draw Pokepower to discard a double rainbow energy, and draw 3 cards. I will... Let's see. What is this Mystery Zone Stadium? Once during each player's turn, if that player has an evolution card in his or her hand, they may search their deck for a basic energy card, show it to their opponent, and put it into their hand. Then that player chooses an evolution card from the hand, shows it to the opponent, and puts it back into the deck. Okay, so it's like a swap evolution. Well, I don't got any evolutions in play. So I'll play Dual Ball. Double heads.
Those die are just rolling heads all day. 4 straight on Sun Flash.
I know, right? Off of the Dual Ball. Let's see. Ooh, I don't have any more Clamperl. This is it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, so... I'm just going to thin my deck a little bit. Off of the Dual Ball, I'm going to get a Mewtwo EX and a Magnemite. And, I guess with my Clamperl, I can kind of... The only real route I have is to Paralyze. I don't think that I can afford to give up another prize. So, let's see. Have I attached for turn? I have not. So, I'll attach a multi-energy to my Mewtwo EX. I realized a while ago I should have just burned these Crystal Shards. I'm going to attach Crystal Shard to my Clamperl, which is a tool card that makes it so that my Clamperl is colorless. It's a card that allows you to hit Rayquaza EX for weakness.
I see.
Not going to be useful in this matchup, but I should just play these out of my hand so that you can't copycat for more cards.
True.
Yeah. And, yeah, that's what I've got. So I'm going to go for Bubble. 20 damage, and that Gardevoir is paralyzed.
I don't like that very much. So here, not looking too hot.
You've got like a 10-card hand. How is it not looking too hot?
Well, I do, but like, I can't really do anything, you know?
Well, you're paralyzed, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to use Heal Dance on the Gardevoir to negate the damage from Bubble. I can't retreat. I don't want to play the Desert Shaman because it'll get rid of both of our hands and draw us each 4 cards, and my hand is like decent right now. How many cards are in your hand?
I've got 6.
Okay.
And this Crystal Shard is supposed to get discarded.
All right. And that one too, right? Or no?
Just after you attack.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
So here, I'm actually going to attach a lightning energy from my hand to the Magneton. And the Magneton does, for a lightning and a colorless, does 10 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of my Pokemon. So it's actually a really good card in this deck because it gets you energy back from this card and can be a really good attacker that synergizes with your strategy really well. So definitely want to get some more energy back. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this Dunsparce and get back 2 Psychic with Magnetic Field. And I'm kind of running low on cards here, so I don't want to keep drawing. If the game goes that long, I'll just draw into them eventually. It's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn over to Andrew.
Cool. We successfully bought some time. I'll draw. And I find Magneton, so I can evolve my Magnemites into Magneton. And finally, I can use that Magnetic Field Pokepower. So I'll use Magnetic Field to discard Magnemite from my hand and get 2 basic Psychic Energy back from the discard pile. Now that I've got that engine set up, I can use Delcatty's Energy Draw Pokepower effectively. It's tough because I think I've prized some Clamperl. That or this deck only runs a 2/2 Clamperl. But I think it's more than a 2/2.
Probably like a 3/2 or something like that.
I would expect, yeah. I'm going to use Delcatty's Energy Draw to discard Psychic Energy from my hand and draw 3 cards. And now you can see this deck is finally cooking. We've got another Juggler. We've got energy to discard, so we can draw a lot of cards with Juggler, which is really good. I'm going to use Juggler. Let's see. I'm going to use Juggler to discard 2 basic Psychic Energy from my hand and draw 5 cards.
That's pretty good effect.
I mean, now I've drawn 8 cards this turn, which is more than I've drawn the entire game so far.
Probably.
I'll evolve my Clamperl into Gorebyss. Gorebyss has free retreats, so that's really nice. I'll bench Mewtwo EX. I'll attach double Rainbow Energy to my Delcatty. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang, I'm shorts. 5 energy in play. So I'm doing 70 damage to the Gardevoir, which is just a little bit short. So let's think. Could go for a Stun Needle. That doesn't even matter because, well, it does matter because you could heal it, but I think I got to go for 1 more Paralysis. Yep. I'm going to go for Stun Needle, 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads, the Gardevoir is paralyzed. And it's a heads.
Man. Another 10 damage. Draw. So here I'm planning on retaliating eventually if the Gorebyss takes a knockout with the Magneton because the Gorebyss is weak to lightning. And I have a pretty easy time knocking it out. So what I really want to do is get another Gardevoir set up, but the way my bench is, I can't really do that since I have this Dunsparce taking up space over here. I'm just going to keep attaching to my Pokemon just to build up energy counts. I'll attach to Delcatty. So you have 1, 2, 5, 70. You get 2 more, it's 90. So even if I heal, if Andrew has like another double rainbow or something, he could take a knockout, but I think it's still worth healing this Gardevoir just to force him to attach another double rainbow energy. to kind of waste his resources and reduce his damage.
Oh my god, Gorebyss is all Psychic Energy in play.
Oh, it is?
It's cool, man. I wanted one more turn. This Gorebyss is doing infinite damage right now.
Oh, man.
All right, yeah, thanks. I didn't read the card. Yes, but if we take a look real quick. Yeah, Gorebyss actually says 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each Psychic Energy in play. Yeah, this matchup just got a lot more interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, cool. All
okay.
right.
Well, then I'm not going to heal this Gardevoir, then.
Because it is a goner.
I'm going to heal the other Gardevoir.
Okay.
Then I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna pass.
Cool. So your Gardevoir is no longer paralyzed. I'll draw for turn. And what I want is to set up another Gorebyss. That's what would really help me in this game right now. So I need to find my other Clamperl. I can use Magnetic Field to discard Magnezone and get 2 basic Psychic Energy back from the discard pile into my hand. Then I can use Town Volunteers to put the Clamperl, the Mewtwo, Magnemite, Magnezone, and 1 Psychic Energy back into my deck. Town Volunteers is a supporter card. It allows you to shuffle 5 Pokemon or energy cards, or any combination of the two, back into the deck. So it's a nice recovery card for this deck. And my hope is that I can use Delcatty's Energy Draw and draw into my Clamperl again, so that I can have a backup Gorebyss for the following turn. That would be quite good. I'll use Energy Draw to discard a Psychic Energy from my hand and draw 3 cards. I do not find my Clamperl. So now I'm in a situation where I have to ask myself, do I try to buy one more turn so that I can get a backup Clamperl? Because I'm going to need that in order to trade. If I just take this knockout and then Will brings up a Gardevoir or a Magnezone and knocks me out, then what am I responding with? So I think it's correct for me to try and buy one more turn. Cool. Nope, not yet. I'll attach a Psychic Energy from my hand to Mewtwo EX. And then I'm going to go for a Stun Needle. And we get one more turn,
Heads
baby.
Again. Sheesh. All right. Draw for turn. Well, you don't have the Clamperl, which is pretty good. And I feel like if I Desert Shaman you, you'll just draw into the Clamperl. So, what I'm going to do is probably just attach to the Delcatty. And then use Magnetic Field once again to get only 1 energy in my hand. And pass the turn again.
Cool. Did you want to Blossom?
Oh. Yeah, I'll heal this one fully.
Yeah. Go ahead and make it a clear game action.
Okay. I'll use Heal Dance, remove 2 damage counters from my Gardevoir. And I'll pass.
I'll draw for turn. Now, what's neat is with these cards in my hand, I can guarantee the Clamperl to set up into Gorebyss next turn. I'll use Magneton's Magnetic Field to discard Mystery Zone and get 2 Psychic Energy back from my discard pile into my hand. And I'll play Oracle as my supporter for turn. Oracle allows me to stack my deck, basically. I can search for 2 cards, put them on top of my deck in any order, and then shuffle the rest of my deck and put them underneath it. So I'll grab the Strength Charm and the Clamperl to put on top of my deck. This pairs really well with Energy Draw because I can use Delcatty's Energy Draw to draw right into those cards. Doesn't matter which one goes first because I'm going to draw them both. I'll put these cards on top of the deck, and then I'll use Delcatty's Energy Draw Pokepower to discard a Psychic Energy and draw 3 cards. The instinct of discarding the supporter is so strong.
I know, it's really hard to not do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bench Clamperl. And I'll attach a Psychic Energy from my hand to my benched Mewtwo-ex. And now my Gorebyss can use Mystic Water, which does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each Psychic Energy in play. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My Gorebyss is doing 130 damage.
Which is a lot for this time period. You don't see that very often. So.
No, you don't. So that's a big attack, and I'm going to tie it up at 3-3 prizes.
I'm going to promote the Magneton since I can have an easy return knockout with it.
Maybe 12 energy. Did I miscount?
I think you missed one on here.
I did miss. All right. Yeah. It's 12. 140 damage. You get the point.
Yeah. So let's see here. I really want another Ralts. Cards in hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Alrighty. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is Desert Shaman.
Okay.
So we shuffle in and draw up to 4 cards.
Yes, we do.
So up to 4 cards does mean you can pick less than 4 cards, which is
you could.
If you're going to deck out, you Desert Shaman for 1 card.
Yep. Probably not something we'll do.
No, definitely not. I like seeing the most amount of cards possible every game. So
exactly. Yeah, drawing cards is good.
Mm-hmm. Probably the best mechanic of any card game, I would say. So I'm going to draw 4. I'll use Delcatty's Energy Draw, discard Psychic, and draw 3. I use Magnetic Field, discarding probably this Steven's Advice. Get back 2 energy. Then I will attach for turn. Then I will use Psy Shadow. My last energy in the deck. Put the damage on, and then I will use Heal Dance to remove the 2 damage counters from the Gardevoir. And then I will use Magnetic Force, which is 10 damage times the number of energy attached to all of your Pokemon.
Okay. That'll do it. I'm also weak to lightning, so
it's quite a bit of damage.
Gorebyss is getting knocked out, and we will take a prize. Getting my hand disrupted there was not nice, but I do have a pretty stable board state, so we're going to hope that we can draw into the cards we need. I'll promote Clamperl and draw for turn. I think it's correct to... Well, no. It's not really... I can energy draw. It's probably correct to energy draw first. If I energy draw first, then it doesn't really matter if I hit an Oracle. Oracle is like the combo which guarantees me the double rainbow and the Gorebyss. But I don't have Oracle in my hand. I just have Juggler. So I think we're just trying to draw as many cards as possible and hope we hit it all. I'll play Juggler, discarding 2 Psychic Energy from my hand to draw 5 cards. All right. We found the double rainbow, but we have not found the Gorebyss yet.
Pretty rough.
But I've still got a shot. I can use Magnetic Field to discard... I'll use Magnetic Field to discard Mystery Zone and get the 2 Psychic Energy back from my discard pile. Pairs really well with Juggler. And then I'm going to use Delcatty's Energy Draw Pokepower to draw 3 more cards, looking for the Gorebyss. And there it is. Wow. 2 Gorebyss.
Ooh.
So I'll evolve into Gorebyss and attach double rainbow energy from my hand to Gorebyss. Gorebyss is now going to be... Let's see. Gorebyss is now going to be able to use Mystic Water since double rainbow energy provides 2 rainbow energy at the same time. It can only be attached to evolution Pokemon. It does decrease the damage that Pokemon does by 10, but it shouldn't matter. Mystic Water is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 150 minus 10. I'll use Mystic Water for 140 damage and the knockouts.
Quite a lot of damage there. Not very good for me. So I'm actually in a pretty bad spot here. Because I would just love to knock out a Mewtwo EX and just win the game, but Andrew is not going to do that for me. He's never going to promote one unless he's taking the winning knockout with it. So I think the best play here, because all of your active Pokemon, so I need 7 energy on this guy. That's not good. I think I have to Sunflash or something like that. I'll draw for turn. Here's what I can do. I'll use Town's Volunteers. So I'm going to take 5 and any combination of Pokemon Basic Energy and put them back into my deck. Grab Gardevoir. If you want more Ralts in the deck. I think I'll only grab 1 Ralt. I'll grab Psychic, a Psychic, and probably another Alt, just in case. So those guys are going back in the deck. Oh, Town's Volunteers need to stay out there. All right. So now I was actually out of Psychic Energy in my deck before I did the Town's Volunteers, so now I can use Psy Shadow with an actual target. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Psy Shadow onto the Delcatty. 20 damage. And then I'll use Heal Dance to heal off the 20 damage right away. And I believe I have not attached for turn yet.
Nope. The Delcatty is getting juiced up, dude.
Put on the Delcatty, and then I'll use Sudden Flash to attempt Paralysis once again. And another head.
Dude.
It is just brutal out here. Wow.
That's hilarious. I'll draw for turn. Now, something really neat about this deck is that Jimmy Ballard was playing, I think, 4 copies of Warpoint. So there are a lot of Switch available. I have used quite a few of them, but I think that there are some left, which I'm going to hope to find here. I can guarantee it. I'll use Oracle. And with Oracle, I can go find one of those warp points, and I can force up a card on Will's bench to take the lead, which is really big for me.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that.
With Oracle, I'm going to stack Warp Point and Strength Charm. Shuffle my deck and put those on top. I'll use Magneton's Magnetic Field to discard Magnemite and put 2 Psychic Energy from my discard pile back into my hands. And then I'll use Delcatty's Energy Draw Pokepower to discard a Psychic and draw 3 cards. I don't have a free retreater on my bench, so I am going to have to sack an energy in order to attack with Gorebyss again. And I have to attack with Gorebyss again so that I'm not offering up my Mewtwo EX. This Crystal Shard on my Mewtwo could lose me the game.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, It is a tool card.
It is a tool card, and I need it to leave. Huh. That's interesting.
Earlier, you're like, there's no reason not to play these down.
Yes. Well, now I'm feeling like maybe there was. Okay, so you're building
just a massive cat over here.
A massive cat. Okay. The Delcatty could potentially knock out anything. That's fine. I'm going to Warp Point.
Warp Point, huh. So I think I just need to promote Blossom. Otherwise, I just lose the game.
Okay. I will promote my Magneton. And now I have a choice. I can retreat to my Magneton and Mystic Water, take the knockouts. Then Will can promote the Delcatty and take a knockout with a 5 energy Delcatty. Or 6, it would need to be 6 energy Delcatty. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's possible, though.
Mm-hmm.
Or I go for Gorebyss and try to stall one more turn.
I think you're 10 short on this because I resist water by 30.
You resist water by 30?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, no, I counted wrong. Sorry.
All right, sick.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Just 120.
No. Oh, I can win the game again with another war point. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool. I'll retreat Magneton into Gorebyss, and I can use Mystic Water for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 170 damage, minus 30 for resistance. So 140 damage, minus 10 for my double rainbow. It's 130 damage, and the Blossom is knocked out. I'll go to 1 prize remaining.
It's extremely unfortunate. So I need to either get another Gardevoir EX set up so Andrew can just never one-shot it, or I need like another Delcatty or something in place so also Andrew can just never one-shot it. Because these guys will lose me the game too, like Andrew said, another warp point. So here I have a decision to make. I can either throw away the boost with Delcatty to draw cards, or I can attach the boost to the Delcatty and then draw cards with Stevens, but I really need to hit a basic Pokemon here. So I think my best chance is to attach the boost, which provides 3 colorless energy to an evolved Pokemon, and then gets discarded at the end of the turn. So now I have 6 cards in my hand. I will use Steven's Advice to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's a lot of boost.
Did draw the rest of my boost energy. So I'm going to use Energy Draw, discarding 1 of the boosts, and draw 3 more cards. And
Needed to find a Ralts there.
yeah, I needed to find a way to evolve.
Or a candy, right?
Yeah. So that's really unfortunate. Yeah, because now I just lose like no matter what. I can bench the other Dunsparce. Warp Point doesn't do anything for me. Does it? No, it doesn't do anything. So, looks like we're going to lose here, but it's okay. I'll use Max Energy Source for 70 damage.
And the Gorebyss is knocked out. I will promote Delcatty and draw for turn. And I will once again use Oracle to go stack the last war points on top of my deck. And then I can use Delcatty's Energy Draw to discard an energy from my hand and draw into that Warp Points. Then with Warp Points, I'll be able to bring up Mewtwo EX. And no matter which Pokemon Will promotes, Cyburn can take the game-winning knockout. So a really close game.
Yeah, very close.
That was nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like you had that one squared away.
Yeah.
And then the paralysis flips.
They were just both of us, man, just like heads every time.
Every time. Yeah, that was a crazy game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think we definitely learned a little bit about how this matchup goes. I didn't even know that Mystic Water was all Psychic Energy in play.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
And I think it is a 3-3 Gorebyss line. So we saw how important those Clan Pearls are. I did end up prizing one pretty late, so only having the 2 Clan Pearl throughout the game did make it pretty tough for me to be able to string those, which is why I needed to buy more time with paralysis until I was able to get those attackers established. But I thought that was a good showcase of the kind of like sit back and set up strategies that really dominated this era of play.
Yeah. A big part of the game was setting up and then choosing when to go in, because it is sometimes very hard to actually like, decide when or what to go in with, because like, your opponent's just been setting up. You have no idea what they could have. So
right. Exactly. Well, let's play another game.
All right.
And see how this next one goes. And if it goes to a game 3, then we'll do a game 3.
All right.
And then we'll do a series of 2011. Yeah, you could see how back in the day, Swiss was not best of 3.
Nope. Best of 1.
Yeah, best of 1, baby.
Which is crazy to think about, because, now you're always prepared for 2 out of 3. Back in the day, it was just the deck building strategy was a lot different because you had to prepare for best of one,
and you could surprise your opponent with a tech.
Yeah,
and then they couldn't adjust their strategy for it in games 2 and game 3.
Yeah,
and with cards like Rare Candy allowing you to instantly evolve those stage 2 Pokemon into play, you could just instantly put down a card like Blossom, and then your opponent is, kind of trying to figure out how to deal with that on the fly, which could be really tough for them to do. All right, you're going first this game?
Yeah.
Cool.
Ooh. It'll be fine.
Good luck.
Good luck. So no draw, no supporter, but not to worry, I have neither in my hand. So I think I'm just going to attach the Skitty and use Minor Errand Running. So I search my deck for 2 basic energy cards and put them in my hand. Just trying to thin the deck out a little bit. Maybe I can check my prizes real quick, but I'm not too concerned about it.
The Pokemon lines were pretty thick during this time.
Just checking for like the Oddish and like the Lightning. So I'm going to grab those 2 Psychic Energy. And it is your turn.
I'll draw for turn. And I have got a Dual Ball. I'll flip 2 coins. And for each heads, I get to search for a basic. I've got 1. So I'll get to grab 1 basic out of my deck and put it into my hand. Thinking that TV reporter is probably going to be my supporter for turn. So I just want to set up Delcatty as quickly as possible, because once Delcatty is set up, then the whole deck is just gravy. So with that Dual Ball, I'm going to search out Skitty. We're going to put Skitty onto the bench. I've got a couple of options. I could guarantee the Delcatty next turn by using Oracle to stack it, but I feel like drawing some more cards, right? That's more exciting.
Andrew loves to draw cards.
Yeah, drawing cards is broken.
This man drafts Erica and Cube every time. He even lets his opponents draw cards with his own card.
Right, yeah, just to draw more cards.
Yeah.
I'll use TV Reporter as my supporter for turn. I draw 3 cards. And then I discard a card from my hand. Tough. I've got multiple Juggler now. Do I need multiple Juggler? I don't want to discard this energy yet because it's the only one I have. So I want to keep that. We saw how good the warp points were last game.
Definitely a broken card.
Game changer. All right. I'm going to discard the Mystery Zone Stadium. I'll bench a Clamperl, and I'll bench a Magnemite. And then it's weird because if I attach this Psychic Energy, I can't really use it for anything next turn. So I probably don't want to attach the Psychic Energy, which feels wrong, but it's probably for the best. So I'll just pass to you.
Alrighty. Draw. And my hand is completely terrible. So just looking at a bunch of Magnetons and Rare Candies. So I think I will just lullaby for 10 and you are asleep.
Okay, so we sleep. See if I wake up. No damage because of Exoskeleton. And that Clamperl is sleep.
Taking a nap.
I'll draw for turn. Now I'm seeing that Will is not doing anything. So I would like to get it moving. The Juggler is a little bit of a riskier play, but Oracle just feels slow, man. I don't want to play the Oracle and then just wait. I'm going to use Juggler and discard the Psychic Energy to draw 3. And then I've got Dual Ball. And we get a heads. So off of the Dual Ball, I can search out Mewtwo EX. And put it onto my bench. Then I'll attach Multi-Energy to my Mewtwo and Warp Points to switch my Mewtwo into the active spots. Then I will use Energy Absorption to attach the basic energy from my discard pile to Mewtwo.
Draw for turn. And I guess I made a misplay last turn. I should have attached an energy in case I top decked Stevens this turn, so I'd be able to play it. But it probably won't end up mattering because I got a whole lot of nothing in my hand. So I'm going to have to lullaby again when you're asleep.
Okay.
It does do 10 damage.
It does. See if I can get myself out of this situation. It's a heads. Stay woke, Mewtwo.
All he needs is an energy.
And I do not have it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can't attach the multi-energy.
Let's go.
Because it won't work. So, Will's bought himself a turn. But now I will finally play Oracle. And with Oracle, I can stack some game winners on top of my deck. I think I'm going to stack a... Yes, a Delcatty and a basic Psychic Energy.
Seems pretty good.
Those will work just fine. And I'll pass back to you.
All right. Do I draw anything?
Oh, 4 big ones.
I get a chance. I'm going to attach just in case I do draw the Delcatty and I can maybe get in for some damage this turn. So I am forced to copycat and see what if I draw any basics. The Delcatty here is actually a really good draw because being able to just do 30 damage to this Mewtwo is pretty cool.
Definitely. Also, it has 70 hit points.
Yeah, which
So
you cannot do.
Right. It'll be difficult for my Mewtwo to take that knockout. There's only 1 Strength Charm in this deck. So finding that in a thick deck will be pretty difficult.
Yeah, very few damage modifiers in these older formats. It has like Darkness Energy and Strength Charm. Oh, not yet.
Yep.
4 big ones. Okay.
Is that a Dunsparce?
Is a Dunsparce and a second one. But I've already attached. Perhaps a misplay. But I need to preserve the Dunsparce, otherwise I'll lose. I guess
Yeah, you got 2.
I'm fine. So I'm going to retreat into one of the Dunsparce, just as, a wall for a turn, while I wait for this other Dunsparce to be ready to attack. So I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Cool. I'll draw for turn. And stack the wrong card on top of my deck.
Nice.
I'll draw for turn. And I'll evolve into Delcatty. And then I'll use Delcatty's energy draw to discard multi-energy and draw 3 cards. Then... I'm going to use... Yeah, that's fine. I think I just got to get going. We could risk it. Think I'll find another Psychic Energy off the next 3 cards.
No.
Probably not.
No way.
I'll attach Psychic Energy to Mewtwo EX, and I'll use Psyburn for 60 damage to take the first knockout.
It's fine. We get Dunsparce now. Oh, and I got another Dunsparce. Okay. So I'm going to attach for turn to the Dunsparce. Then I will use Strike and Run and choose not to switch because I need to preserve my Skitty in case I ever draw a good card like a Delcatty. So here, I'm actually going to grab 2 Ralts, I think, and a Magneton or Magnemite because I really need to get these Gardevoirs up and ready. And the Oddish is more of like a luxury than anything else. So it's your turn.
Mewtwo is really feasting right now. And this is what this deck is supposed to do. Kind of be aggressive with Mewtwo and then sweep with your Gorebyss at the end of the game. I'll draw. And I do have a nice combo. I can use Oracle to stack whatever cards I want on top of my deck. And this is something else that this deck is really good at doing. I can War Points, right? To get around this Dunsparce. This is one of the reasons this deck plays 4 War Points, because I can kind of just bully Will's setup and knock out Ralts or Magnemites, Pokemon that he doesn't want to put into the active spots.
Yes, 4-point is pretty underrated in that regard, I think.
For sure. Looks like... Okay, I've got my Magnetons right there. So I'm going to stack War Point and Magneton. It doesn't really matter what order I stack them in, because I will draw into both of them with Energy Draw. I'll use Delcatty's Energy Draw Pokepower to discard a Psychic Energy and draw 3 cards. And then I'll evolve Magnemite into Magneton, and I'll evolve my Clamperl into Gorebyss.
Not looking too good over here.
I'll attach my Double Rainbow Energy to Gorebyss, and I will Magnetic Field to discard Crystal Shard, which I do not need, to put the Psychic Energy back into my hand. And then I will Warp Points to force up one of Will's bench Pokemon.
You can have Magnemite.
And I'm going to promote Gorebyss with the Double Rainbow Energy and protect the Mewtwo on the bench. Since it's technically possible for Will to take a knockout on my Mewtwo, I want to save this energy, kind of like a big energy bank, for future turns with Gorebyss. I'll use Mystic Water, which is doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90 damage with the damage reduction for Double Rainbow.
Pretty good. So I'm going to promote Dunsparce again. Not a great draw. So I think here I actually need to start Sun Flashing, because if I don't, then Andrew will just run away with this game. So I'm going to go ahead and use Sun Flash. Tails. Finally a Tails.
I'll draw for turn, and I've got Juggler. I'll discard 2 basic Psychic Energy from my hand and draw 5 cards, which is just a ton. And then I can use Magnetic Field to discard Magnemite and put the 2 basic Psychic Energy back into my hands. I'll attach a Psychic Energy from my hand to Delcatty. And I haven't used Energy Draw yet. Holy moly. I'll use Energy Draw, discard a Psychic Energy, and draw 3 cards. Evolve into Gorebyss. And I'll Mystic Water for the knockouts.
Not doing too well. I'll bench Dunsparce. And pass to you.
Yeah, things really getting out of hand here.
Yep.
Unfortunately. But that is something that this deck is supposed to do, is kind of get out there quick. And we're seeing the, what can happen if you don't set up everything that you need to early on in this game. Things can definitely unwind quickly. I'll Energy Draw to draw 3 cards. And then I will Magnetic Field to get 2 energy back from my discard pile into my hands. Attach Psychic Energy to Mewtwo EX. And I'll Mystic Water for the knockouts.
All right. A little too late for that, but it is something at least. Rare Candy Gardevoir. I will use Psy Shadow to search my deck for a Psychic Energy and put it onto the Gardevoir. And then I will have to pass the turn to you.
Draw for turn and Mystic Water for knockouts. I think that we kind of see where this one's going, but we'll see.
All right. Well, at least I'll get to do something before I lose this game.
Not the 6-0, yes. Can you prevent the 6-0? It's important.
Attach Boost Energy, Psy Shadow.
Let's go.
To get another Psychic if I have any left. Oh, there we go. So we have 4. And then I will use Energy Burst for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And the knockout will take surprise.
A little too late, though.
Yes, and I can Psyburn for game. So the Mewtwo Gorebyss deck, I mean, that was a little bit of a tough game. And I felt like game 1, you really had command of the match, though.
I did, yeah. The Gorebyss staying all in play is pretty crucial.
Yeah, I think this matchup is interesting because we both can take big one-hit KOs on each other, so whoever sets up first matters, but then the paralyzed flips also really mattered.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was potentially in game 1, if maybe like the very first time you thought about going in with Guardy EX, if you had just done that trade with the Mewtwo,
I should have, yeah.
Then I think you just win.
Yeah.
Because I was doing literally nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand the hesitancy to do so because you're like giving up the Guardy, right?
Yeah.
Which is not a feel good. And you are allowing me to get that leg up because you're bringing up an EX to take out a single prizer, and then I'm taking out your EX.
Mm-hmm.
So that feels like a bad trade.
Yeah, it does.
And usually that kind of trade can lose you the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why there was why you'd want to second guess that. But that was fun. Thank you so much for playing that series with me.
Of course.
We're going to be getting into some 2011 next. What's 2011 decks we're going to be showing off? We've got Magnezone. I kind of am into the Magnezone deck.
I know you like some Emboar.
I love Emboar. Yeah, this deck looks sick. What deck are you thinking then?
I want to play Yanmega Magnezone. That deck's really fun. This is what I have right here.
That's what you got right there?
Yeah.
Cool. Will and I are going to take a quick break, and then after this break, we're going to be back with some more retro tabletop content. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to check out fullgripgames.com to help support the channel and help Will and I keep our jobs. Shopping at Full Grip Games directly supports the content that we create here. And also huge thanks to Dragon Shield for providing all the sleeves for today's tabletop gameplay. We'll be right back. Yo, what's up, guys? We are back. Thank you so much for the patience. Still got to get my Dragon Shield burn fixed. I moved it on my desktop, so the Dragon Shield burn button on my Stream Deck is no longer aligned with that, so I need to reroute it, and I forgot. So, yeah, transitions are going to be a little clunky today, but that's okay. We've got some 2011 formats that we're going to be showing off now. Both of our decks have Magnezone in them. Magnezone Prime was one of the best cards from this era and was in a lot of different decks. But even though both of our decks play Magnezone Prime, we have very different strategies.
Extremely different strategies, yes.
Make sure you're right. Yeah, pull it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're good.
All right,
All right, great. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what your deck does, Will, and I'll cut to your hand cam so you can tell us about it.
So my deck's plan is basically just play all the best Prime cards, like Yanmega, Kingdra, and Magnezone. And what Magnezone does is the most broken part about it is once during your turn, you can just draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. It's absolutely broken, and you can do that for as many Magnezone you have in play. And then its attack for Lightning Carless does 50 times the amount of energy you put from your Pokemon in play into the Lost Zone. So this deck's plan, it doesn't attach quite a lot of energy, but for those like things you can't knock out with your Yanmega, you're going to be using your Magnezone in certain scenarios. But the real point of this deck is to use Yanmega, which its Pokebody does. So if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, then all its attacks are free. You just ignore all the costs for the attack. So this deck doesn't even play any grass energy. It just plays like 2 rainbow, because most of the time you're going to be using its attacks for free. And does 40 to any one of your Pokemon, or any one of your opponent's Pokemon, and it does 70, and it's not affected by resistance or weakness. And then
it's free retreat.
It does, free retreat, big part of the card too, for sure. And then the Kingdra has Spray Splash. So once during your turn, you can put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And then as an attack for 1 water, does 60. But if your opponent has any fire Pokemon in play, it actually only does 20 damage. So it's kind of weird like that. And then to get me and my opponent's hand sizes are the same, we're going to be using Judge a lot, put us both to 4 cards. And then we also have Copycat to draw the same number of cards in your hand as our opponent. And then another thing you can do with this deck is Jirachi. And what Jirachi does, it's hard to see because of the glare, sorry, but it does.
Gotta bling out the decks.
For sure. It looks so pretty. So when you play it from your hand on your bench, you flip 3 coins, and then for each heads, you search your discard pile for a Psychic Energy and put it on Jirachi. And its attack, for 1 Psychic, it chooses a number of your opponent's Pokemon in play according to how many energy are on Jirachi, and it devolves them. So, like if your opponent goes Tepig, Rare Candy, Emboar, and they have 60 on the Emboar, and you use Jirachi's attack on the Emboar, it'll devolve and it'll knock out the Tepig, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Definitely an intimidating deck to play against. On my side of the board, I'm gonna have the Magnezone Emboar deck, which uses Magnezone in a more attacking capacity than that deck does. I think its Lost Burn attack can do infinite damage. It does Lost Zone the energy that you're going to be getting rid of to do 50 damage times the amount of energy you Lost Zone. And unlike that deck, which just manually attaches energy, this deck plays Emboar from Black and White with its Inferno Fandango ability, which allows you to attach as many fire energy from your hand to your Pokemon in play as you like during your turn. So you can use Emboar's Inferno Fandango to power up Magnezone or insane Pokemon like your Rayquaza and Deoxys Legend, which takes bonus prizes when it takes knockouts. With its Pokebody Space Virus, it's kind of like Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia, kind of like Lugia EX. If you take a knockout with it, you take an extra prize card. And then Ozone Buster does 150 damage, and you have to discard all fire energy from the Rayquaza and Deoxys Legend. We are weak to Colorless and Psychic, but I don't think that weakness is going to matter in this matchup. So that could be a very good card for us. We're going to be relying on Pokemon like Cleffa to help us set up the deck. Cleffa's Eek Attack with the sweet Sleeping Face Pokebody, infamous during this era. I mean, games were won and lost because of sleep flips during 2011, which is funny, kind of calls back to the Neo era with the baby flips. We've got more baby flips because the sweet Sleeping Face Pokebody reads, as long as Cleffa is asleep, you prevent all damage done to Cleffa by attacks. And then Eek shuffles your hand into your deck, you draw 6 cards, and then Cleffa becomes asleep. So in an ideal world, you always stay asleep going into your opponent's turn and wake up coming back into your turn. However, anybody who's played this format knows that is not how it always goes.
Nope.
Yep. Sometimes your Pokemon stays asleep going into your opponent's turn, and you're like, yes, and then stays asleep for 5 more turns. And you lose the game. So there's definitely a double-edged sword there with the Cleffa. But I'm excited to see how this goes. Now, 2011 format was just before I started playing. My first season was the 2012 World Season. So I started playing the winter after 2011 World Championship. So a lot of these cards and strategies were still around. All of the Heart Gold, Soul Silver cards were still legal. In fact, the format was Heart Gold, Soul Silver on, I think.
Yeah, it didn't rotate.
It didn't rotate that year. That's what I thought. Yeah, which is funny. Because I remember seeing all these Heart Gold, Soul Silver cards around when I started playing in Noble Victories. So I was very familiar with all these Prime cards, and I definitely have a lot of nostalgia associated with these Prime cards. I remember when I started playing, Junk Arms were really difficult to get a hold of because they were kind of expensive. Pokemon Catchers were really expensive. Pokemon Catcher wasn't printed yet during this World Championship era. Will has Pokemon Reversals in his deck, which are coin flip catchers. I do not have any in my deck. My deck is more of a just blow up whatever's in the active kind of deck, which I like that kind of deck.
Yeah, so, you do.
Yeah. This is definitely right up my alley. Now, the turn 1 rules, you can attack, but you can do everything.
You can do everything you want. You can do everything.
I don't know what. So they used to have like nice balance and limitation on what you could do turn 1 going first, and then they just did away with all of that. Why?
Who knows? I mean, well, the big thing is that there's a Tyrogue in this format. That's like, it's the same thing as a Cleffa. It's a baby Pokemon. Has the same Pokebody, which means if it's asleep, you can't damage it. But its attack for 0 energy just does 30. So a lot of games were decided back in the day. In Best of 1 Swiss, you would start Tyrogue going first against their Cleffa, and you would just win the game because you can attack right away.
Yep, a free attack. Yeah, this format does catch a lot of flack for that.
Yeah, but good thing none of these decks play Tyrogue, so we don't have to deal with that.
When you're revisiting the format, you basically get to craft whatever the format is because you have the power to decide what gets played because you're the one building the deck. So, if you're the keeper of the 2011 format, you'd be like, we're not going to play with Tyrogue because Tyrogue's a cheeky way to win.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
I'm pretty excited for this matchup.
I think so. I'm stoked as well. All right, Will, would you like heads or tails?
Heads. And I will go first.
Sounds good.
Do you have a mulligan?
I have a mulligan.
And opening Pokemon Collector in your hand in this format going first is extremely important. What it does is it's border. Lets you search your deck for 3 basic Pokemon and put them into your hand. So it is the best possible setup card you could have. Gets you all your guys. It gets Cleffa. Very important card to see on your first turn.
Yeah, it's like if you play Gym Leader Challenge format, it's like getting the Bridget or the Gloria.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's your setup supporter. I really do love formats that have a setup time where you set up your deck and then you play the game. It really is a lot of fun.
All right, I got a basic.
I did not. God, I love Emboar, dude. Emboar is, like, honestly one of the best starters in the history of the Pokemon TCG. Just look at that Pignite. He is such a handsome fella. That's an incredible card right there. I love that.
Yeah, he's cool.
Pignite is awesome. I'm a huge Emboar stan. I don't tolerate any Emboar haters. None. Emboar is awesome. I've heard people say some nasty things about Emboar.
I know. I don't know why you get so much. Like, I don't.
It's messed up, man.
Emboar's cool, but I prefer Snivy. But Superior, I don't like Superior.
All right, I've got a basic.
Should I take my one mulligan?
Yep.
Might need it, so yeah. I am going first.
Good luck.
Good luck. Drew the mulligan, draw for turn. Going to bench 1 and 2 Magnemite. And then since Andrew is playing a very setup heavy deck, I think I'm going to go ahead and judge us on the first turn of the game.
Shoo! The turn 1 judge.
Because my deck doesn't really need that much setup. I can pretty much function off of like 1 Yanmega. So getting this early disruption and being able to put like 40 damage on board starting from turn 2 is going to be really strong for me.
Yeah, that makes me a little bit nervous. I had a Professor Oak's new theory in my hand, but I didn't have a collector.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you're going to judge me straight into the collector.
Probably. That's how it always is.
It is how it goes, yes.
Four cards. Actually, a really good hand for me. Go ahead and play Pokemon Communication. So I'll show you the Yanma. And I basically trade one Pokemon from my hand and pick a Pokemon from my deck and put it in my hand. So I am looking for the Cleffa all the way here. Actually, a very good turn for me.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Because being able to put you down to 4 and then put me right back up to 6 is very strong. And I was even lucky enough to get the energy for turn as well.
Dang.
So I'll use, or I'll retreat with the Emma. It does have free retreat due to the free flight ability. If it has no energy attached to it, its retreat cost is 0. Then I will use Eek. So I shuffle my hand into my deck and draw 6 cards.
Dang.
And I'm asleep.
Up.
Tails, please. It is a Tails.
Well, well, well. This is not the best hand that I could have gotten judged into turn 1. I'm really hoping that this top deck is going to give me something good. I'll draw. And I find a pig. So I will bench my pig. And I will attach to Reshiram. And I will pass to you.
Flip for sleep. Heads. See, it's already going not in Andrew's way. This is what we love to see.
No, yeah, this is not great.
Okay, my hand is like not that good though. Let's see here. I do have.
Dang, the bling in this deck is so sick.
Yeah, the Heart Silver reverses look so good. I could like Junk Arm for communication. I'm definitely gonna evolve this Magneton or the Magnemite with the energy on it. Then I'm gonna attach the other energy to this Magnemite. This deck actually only plays like 10 energy, so getting those attachments down is going to be really important. I think I'm actually just going to like chill here. I'll bench the Horsey, and then I will use Eek again. And I stay asleep.
You're a huge sack, dude.
Oh yeah. This is so sick. I love to see this.
I'll draw for turn. Oh, let's go.
What you got? What you got?
We're insane. I got a Cleffa, dude.
All right.
With the
go.
switch.
Let's go.
Ready to roll.
Go ahead and draw my 6.
I'll redraw. I'll draw for turn. And I find a Cleffa of my own. And I have switch in my hand, so I'll switch into my Cleffa. And then I will use Eek. We go to sleep. See if I wake up. I do not.
Very
now
cool.
let's see if Will wakes up. He does not.
See, this is where things go downhill very fast. I'll draw for turn.
Give me a second to shuffle up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and I get 6 new cards.
So I do have the Magnezone right away. Going to evolve that. And then what I'm going to do here is I think I'll play the Collector first because I really want to save my Judges and Copycats for when I need to get our hand sizes the same for Yanmega's attack. So right now I'm going to grab a Yanma, a Magnemite, and another Horsey. And I'm going to go back in the deck real quick. I'm going to use Junk Arm. So I discard 2 cards, and I search my discard pile for a trainer card and put it in my hand. So I'm going to discard those 2. Get back Pokemon Communication. Play the Pokemon Communication, Magnemite, and I'm going to search out another Magnezone. I'm going for the Magnezone here so I can get more draw on board and just be prepared for anything because I can't attack with a Yanmega this turn unless I just draw the switch, which I only play 1 of. The big thing with this deck is I like to use a switch immediately so you can just Junk Arm for it at any time because you play 4 Junk Arm and 1 switch, so just a reliable way to always have the switch out if you need it because trying to retreat Magnezone is really hard.
Yeah, it's got a retreat of 3.
Yeah, and I get out of spots like this where you just can't attack. So I will play Rare Candy, skip the stage, go another Magnezone, bench another Horsey. So I have like the optimal setup here because I really want the double Kingdra so I can use Spray Splash, which just puts 1 damage counter on one of my opponent's Pokemon twice. So I can do like 40 and then 20 to the Tepe to knock it out right away. I'm going to go ahead and use my first Magnetic Draw to draw 4 cards. And that is not good. So I can't really play any of these right now.
God, they look pretty, though.
They do look pretty. Just a handful of supporters. I could play this, the reversal, but, you know.
Then you wake me up.
I do wake you up, but I guess, yeah, the Tepig is, I can't attack this turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass. And I'll flip for sleep. And I do wake up.
I'll see if I wake up. I do not. Okay. So I'll draw for turn. And I do have a Magnemite and a supporter for turn, so that's good. I definitely want to set up my Magnezones as quickly as possible. So I'm going to bench Magnemite. And then I don't think it's optimal to bench this second Reshiram yet. Doesn't really feel like that's something I need to do. So I'll attach an energy to Reshiram, and I'll play Professor Oak's New Theory, which is interesting because it says on Professor Oak's New Theory that you're supposed to keep the supporter next to your active Pokemon, but then the supporters during the Black and White era do not say that.
Yep.
Similarly, the difference between trainers and items and supporters, they kind of all get reworded halfway through this format.
Yeah, it's weird.
During the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, as you could see here on the Professor Oak's New Theory, This card is not a trainer card. It doesn't say trainer anywhere on it. In fact, all item cards were classified as trainer cards during the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. This is one of the reasons that Gym Leader Challenge only goes back to Black and White, because during Black and White, everything changed. Supporter cards became classified as trainers. Stadium cards got classified as trainers. Tool cards classified as trainers. Yes, and item cards, a specific kind of trainer. But during the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, they were messing around with it a little bit. And you had supporter cards, stadium cards, trainer cards, and tool cards, which were all different.
Yes, it was the same way in Diamond and Pearl block, too. All of them were separate.
Oh, okay, cool. So they did that. That was consistent through Diamond and Pearl. Interesting. All the way up until Black and White, and then they switched it up with Black and White. So the Black and White era is like the beginning of the modern era of the Pokemon TCG.
Yeah.
It's the way that many players classify it. So I'll draw 6 cards. And I'll bench a second Tepig. And I'll pass to you, and I'm hoping that I stay asleep. I do.
And you are still asleep. So I will draw for turn. Very fortunate that I woke up, because I can just get around the Cleffa with my Yanmega's Snipe Attack, which is 40 to any one of Andrew's Pokemon. Want to get as many energy down as possible when I can to use Magnezone for as much damage as possible whenever I need it, because sometimes with this deck, you just do not have enough energy in play and you just can't do enough damage. So it's really important to do that. Cards in hand?
I've got 5.
Okay. I do have the copycat here. So, actually, we played that in 2004, so that's pretty cool. Shuffle your hand in your deck.
Yep.
And draw the same number of cards as your opponent. So I have to keep in mind that I do have to have the same number of cards in my hand as Andrew when I go to attack with the Yanmega, or else I will not be able to. So it's very important keeping in mind what cards you can play and how you can thin your hand out at any point in the game. Because if they have 6, it's extremely easy because Magnezone draws up to 6.
Right.
Anything higher than 6, you're going to have to use a copycat for or judge them. But it's really hard to get past 6 in this deck. So you said you have 5?
Yep.
So I'll draw 5. I did get the Yanmega.
And you're looking for a burnable card off of this, right?
Yeah, or I could... Yeah, I think I do have the Pecom in there. So what I'm trying to do is eventually Junk Arm for the Pecom and get a Kingdra in play so I can just knock out his Magnemite. That'd be really good for me. So I do still have both draws left. So I'm going to use one here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Junk Arm for... Or Junk Arm, discard Collector, and Magnezone for Pokemon Communication. Pokemon Communication, Magnemite. Get a Kingdra. Oh, I'm dropping cards. All right. And Kingdra is going to let me put 1 damage counter on any one of Andrew's Pokemon once during a turn.
Yeah, this is not great for me.
But I still need to find a playable card. I'm going to Rare Candy onto the Kingdra with the damage on it. Second minute to draw 5. And I did find a burnable card. So I will play Pokemon Communication, Magnemite. Trade that back in for a card that I can't play. I think I'm going to grab the second Kingdra just in case I draw the candy next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retreat the Cleffa, bring up Yanmega, use Spray Splash on the Magnemite, put 10 on it, and then linear attack the Magnemite to do 40.
That is tough for sure. So I'm definitely hoping that my Cleffa wakes up now. We'll take in the lead with the first prize. And Cleffa decides to stay woke. Good stuff. I'll draw for turn. And I don't have the best hand, but I do have the response knockout with my Reshiram. I'll play Pokemon Collector. And with Pokemon Collector, I'm going to search out 2 basic Pokemon. Actually, they go into my hands?
Yep.
Yes, I can search out 3 basic Pokemon and put them into my hand. So I definitely want to recoup my Magnemites. And then for my last basic Pokemon, I'll probably get... Let's see, I've already got 2 Tepig in play. I'll get another Reshiram. So I'll get 2 Magnemites and a Reshiram off the Pokemon Collector and put them into my hands. I need one of these Magnemites to survive long enough to evolve into a Magnezone. So I'm going to bench both Magnemites. Then I'll attach a Lightning Energy from my hand to Reshiram. And I can't really afford to just leave this Yanmega here just taking big knockouts on my little Pokemon every turn. So I'm going to use Reshiram's Blue Flare attack to do 120 damage, discarding both Fire Energy, and I'll take my prize.
Promote Cleffa because it has free retreat. Draw. And this is a bad spot for me. So I really need to attack with Yanmega like every turn. But you know, just eking and praying is also a really good strategy in a bunch of different formats, so I'm sure it'll work here. I do have to remember to Spray Splash every turn, because that Cleffa is staying there. And since I can't attack with Yanmega this turn, might as well start putting some damage on the Cleffa. Or I could prepare for like a de-evolution play with a Jirachi later in the game. So how many cards in your hand?
I have got 6.
Okay. 6 cards in your hand. I think I'm going to play Pokemon Communication, Kingdra. I'll find a Yanma. And then let's see. I think I'm gonna judge as well.
Okay.
Really just need to find those green Pokemon to keep attacking with.
I'm thinking that you're going to judge me into double rare candy with an Emboar and a Magnezone.
That'd be pretty good for you.
Then I'm popping off.
Mm-hmm. So if I draw an energy here, I could use Lost Burn, but I think I'd honestly rather just eke and try to find more setup. Draw 4.
Because then you have to move the Magnezone too.
Yeah, it's really not optimal. So I'm going to evolve my Horsey into a Seadra. And then I'm going to try a Pokemon Reversal. So I flip heads, pick one of Andrew's Pokemon, bring it up.
It's a heads.
It's a heads. So I will bring up one of the Tepigs. And then I'm going to use my first magnetic draw to draw 4. The Dragon Steam only doing 20 is really unfortunate, but I'll still be able to put Andrew's Tepig to 10 health remaining, which if he does not evolve it, will let me use a Spray Splash to knock it out in future turns. So I'm just going to attach a Psychic to Magnezone and use my second draw for 1. Then I'll retreat. And then I don't know if it's even worth it to attack with the Kingdra, because if Andrew did draw something good, he could just knock out my Kingdra, and I really can't let that happen. So my hand's kind of bad. I think I'll just Eek.
Okay. See if you wake up.
I do not.
Dang, what a sec.
Very nice.
Did you want to Spray Splash?
Yes, I will Spray Splash the Tepig.
Cool. I'll draw for turn, and yep, this hand is pretty bad. So we are going to attach Lightning Energy to Tepig and retreat into Cleffa. I'll use Fisherman to... Should I use Fisherman yet? Dang, probably not. I just dilute my deck. All these energy. No, yeah, we're not even going to Fisherman. I'm just going to Eek. See if I wake up. I do.
Do I wake up? I do not. So I'll draw for turn.
And I get 6 cards. Lots of setup. Something that's usually makes the game more fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Is when you and your opponent are both setting up your board and you have an opportunity to execute your strategy. Both of us have taken one prize and still no idea which one of us is going to be able to win yet, which is very fun because we're multiple turns into this game, but we don't know how it's going to go. And the mystery is part of what makes the game fun to play.
So here, I'm going to put putting the rainbow on that guy's a little annoying because you have no damage modifiers in that deck. I'm just putting myself in the Reshiram one-shot range. So I think I'm actually going to put this rainbow on the Magnezone. I do have another reversal. Could go for that knockout on the Tepig, because it will be enough with the 1 Spray Splash and weakness with the Dragon Steam, even though it's only 20 base power. So I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to play reversal. And it's a Tails.
You have the switch?
No, but it's fine. Use and a draw for 1. And Twins is one of the best cards we could have drawn, because Twins you can only use if you have more prize cards left than your opponent, and you search your deck for 2 cards and put them in your hand. So this deck likes to go ahead. So it's actually pretty rare that we actually get to use Twins this game. It only plays 1 copy. So I think just waiting and letting Andrew make gameplay actions while we just sit back and wait is a good plan. So I'm going to start Spray Splashing this Cleffa just to put a little bit more pressure on Andrew.
Right.
And then pass the turn.
Okay.
And flip for sleep. Tails.
Tails again. Wow. I will draw for turn. And okay. We're moving along here. Did you want to... Oh, you did Spray Splash? Yep. Good. Okay. I will... Let's see. The Rescue Energy. Put the Pokemon... Oh, it's like Rescue Scarf on an energy. That's kind of cool. I'll attach Fire Energy to my Reshiram. Evolve my damaged Tepig into Pignite. I'll use Pokemon Communication, and I'll trade the Deoxys half of Rayquaza Deoxys Legend into my deck. And I'm going to search out a Magneton if we play one. We don't. Cool. So I'm going to search out...
You do play one.
Ah, he's prized. Cool. I'm not going to play that card. Let's pretend I was a good player and search my prizes.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just gonna make pretend.
We'll pretend. Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't nothing there to get, man. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so scratch that. No Pokemon communication. We're just gonna eek again. So I go to sleep. We stay asleep.
And we are also staying asleep. This is how it is sometimes.
This is how it is. I kind of love these formats though, because you really just you play in the game longer, which is to me is fun. Because when you sit down to play a card game, you sit down to play a game. I mean, you want like a game where you could both feel like you got to participate and you got to just doing the act of doing the game actions is fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like the shuffling of the cards, the drawing of the cards, the formulating what am I going to do next. It's all part of what makes the game fun. So I enjoy it.
It is fun. I like shuffling cards. It's very soothing.
Me too.
So I've already used 2 Judge, which feels really bad. Because, like, I only want to save those for late game. And I'm just not flipping heads on my Cleffa. Also, another underrated part about Collector in this deck is that if you save your basic Pokemon and your opponent has more than 6 cards in their hand, you can Collector for +2 cards if you pick 3. So saving your Collector instead of burning them is another thing you can do in this deck just to put you over the 6-card barrier, really.
Right, to match hand size.
Yeah. So I'm going to Spray Splash your Cleffa and pass the turn over to you.
Now, even though Will is not waking up, we'll see if I wake up. Hooray! Even though Will is not waking up, he is working towards a knockout with that Kingdra's Spray Splash Pokepower. So he will eventually take a knockout with that. Okay. Let's take a look at what I've got going on. Having prized my Magnezone means I pretty much just have to pair together I just have to get a rare candy. It's just what it is. And I am not finding them. So I'm going to use Pokemon Communication, and I'm going to put the Magnezone back into my deck. And finally, I can go get an Emboar. So I'll evolve my Pignites into Emboar. With Emboar in play, I can use Inferno Fandango to accelerate as many fire energy from my hand to my Pokemon in play as I want a turn, which is good for me because getting energy into play is good. So I'm going to Inferno Fandango a fire energy onto my Reshiram. Then I'm going to attach for turn the rescue energy to my Magnemites. And I don't really have anything else to do. I'll use Pokemon Collector as my supporter for turn just to get basic Pokemon out of the deck. And this is just so that I don't draw back into the Pokemon Collector after my Eek. Because at this point in the game, I am desperately trying to find a rare candy and a Magnezone combination. I have twins in my hand, but again, I cannot play it since we are tied on prizes. And I'll just use Eek, go to sleep, and see if we wake up. We do.
And do I wake up? No, Cleffa's tired. But I did find the second Kingdra off the top. So that's going to be absolutely massive for us. So here, I can just ignore this Cleffa now because there's no way to, like, discard bench Pokemon in Andrew's deck. So I can just
scoop up net,
nothing,
none of that. Right.
Nothing like that. So I could save that to the last prize if I really wanted to. I can start spreading damage elsewhere.
Taking that knockout also does activate my twins.
Yes.
So.
And that deck plays 3 twins and is very reliant on twins to get set up. So what I really want to start doing is getting those Magnemites to have 40 damage on them. So if they do go into a Magnezone, I can take the knockout with my Magnezone by only lost zoning 2 energy. Because lost zoning 3 energy with Magnezone feels really bad sometimes because you need as many as you can for continuous ones sometimes. So only having to discard 2 is a huge thing. So I have the Twins in my hand, and this Jirachi, which I'm just itching to play eventually, but right now I'm just gonna chill. I'm going to get 2 splashes on this Magnemite, and then I think I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Now, Twins is a supporter card that doesn't activate on knockout like Teammates does. It's just if you're losing.
Yep.
So, very powerful card. It's like a Teammates just if you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a constant, consistent catch-up card. It's one of the best supporters during this time. I'll draw for turn. And I finally have what I need in order to get a Magnezone into play.
Yay.
Hooray!
Finally.
Yes. So let's see. What do I want to do? I'm going to use Junk Arm, discarding a Lightning Energy and Tepig. And I'll get the Pokemon Communication out of my discard pile. And then I'm going to use Pokemon Communication to trade the Rayquaza half into my deck. And we're going to grab a Magnezone. I've got Rare Candy in my hand, and I know that Will is going for, the softening up of my fellows. But that's okay. Because my Magneton is prized, so I have to Rare Candy this into play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll Rare Candy, and I'm wondering, do I actually want to go with the damaged one? Yeah, that's fine. Because I could take the Magneton off my prizes and then punish Will for doing this.
True.
Yes. So I'll Rare Candy this Magnemite into Magnezone. And I'll use Magnetic Draw to draw 4 cards. Did I not shuffle that? I'm going to give it a... I don't remember if I shuffled, so... I mean, definitely it could have happened, but I just want to make sure. Okay, there we go. That card goes back into. Cool. And I'll use Magnetic Draw for draw 4 cards. We find a couple of Fire Energy, which I can start raining into play. I'll use Inferno Fandango to put a Fire Energy onto Magnezone, and 1 Fire Energy onto Emboar. And then I'll use Professor Oak's New Theory to shuffle my hand into my deck and draw 6 cards.
Seems pretty good.
What I don't like is that Cleffa's still asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of sitting here setting up.
I mean, I'm chilling. I could Spray Splash for 8 hours, bro.
Right. I'll draw 6 cards. And I'll use Inferno Fandango to put another energy onto my Emboar. And then I will Eek to shuffle my hand into my deck and draw 6 cards. And heads, so the Cleffa stays awake.
And tails again.
Oh, man.
I'm just chilling here, like. Alrighty. It's weird. I have this lightning in my hand, but I think I want to save it for this Jirachi later. Because the attack counts all the energy attached to the Jirachi, not just psychic energy. The ability only grabs the energy from the discard. So since Andrew is not taking any knockouts, I'm just going to continue my spraying and splashing. So I'm going to put 2 there.
Okay. With the Kingdra's Spray Splash Pokepower.
And then I'll pass again.
Heads. Tails
again. It's like 5 in a row. Let's go.
I will draw. Okay. And what am I doing here? It's like, okay, I need some progress to be made. I'll attach for turn to my Magnezone. And I mean, I can rare candy another Emboar into play. I guess I have the technology to do that, but I just don't know that it's worth it. So I think I'm okay to just kind of chill. My board is pretty stellar right now, all things considered. So I think I'm okay to just eek again. We'll see if we wake up. We do. And I'll see 6 new cards.
And finally, Cleffa awakes. Draw for turn. My hand's like weird though. I really just want to wait. I like waiting.
Wait, a lot of waiting going on today.
So I think I'll get 2 splashes there.
Okay.
And then I'll eek.
This is insane.
Let's go.
I really need dude to wake up.
Let's go.
Because I'm just sitting here and Will's getting infinite time to just spray splash my whole board, and I can't even take knockouts now.
Yeah, and the fact that Andrew can't play twins is really crippling him, I'm sure, right now. So.
Yeah, there's like just not a lot I can do. So
get 6.
Yep. And I'll draw for turn. Again, I've got some pretty cool stuff going on, but none of it really matters because I cannot get past this sweet sleeping face Cleffa, which is invincible so long as it is asleep. So I sit here and I wait. That is basically what we've got going on. I can do infinite damage. It doesn't matter. I have the ability to put as much energy in play as I want. But that is, at a certain point, you don't actually want to overextend beyond what you can do. There's really no point in like wasting more rare candies just so that he can devolve my guys. It's like, I'll just pass.
Cool. We wake. Very nice. What we love to see since we got the Yanmega. So here, I could take like a 2-prize turn. I do like the idea of taking out that Tepig. But I really just don't want to give Andrew the twins. But I think I'm like set up enough. Maybe I'm not set up enough.
You just set up more.
Because I think the ideal board state with this deck is 2 Yanmega, 2 Kingdra, 2 Magnezone. Because then you always have the backup Yanmega. You have 2 Spray Splash every turn. There's just so much pressure on your opponent. I think I can just chill here and wait. And honestly, I'm not even going to eek. I'm just going to pass. So Andrew is incentivized to actually knock out my Cleffa. So I'm going to give me 2 there.
Okay.
And then I'll pass.
Yeah, this is definitely tough for me. I will draw. And I don't like being in the situation where I have to clear this Cleffa off the board, where Will gets to decide when he clears my Cleffa. I have to attack into this thing now. So I will rare candy into this second Magnezone. Force Will to go in with the Jirachi if that's what he wants to do. That's fine. And then I've got a pretty solid board states, like I said, with lots of options for what I want to do. I could Fisherman to get some energy back right now. But I don't even know that I want to, like, the Fisherman's almost just better to have because it's instant access to 4 energy. So I don't even necessarily want to throw that away or waste my junk arm. We actually just kind of have everything that we need. So
nice.
What would be interesting? Nah, yeah, we're chilling. I think I retreat and take this knockout with Reshiram. I could take the knockout with Magnezone. Could Lost Burn a Cleffa, which is kind of hilarious in its own way. Does save more energy on my board, which is nice.
Then you're potentially giving up a Magnezone, so
that's okay. Because then you can't Jirachi it if you decide to knock out the Magnezone.
Oh, well, I'm not knocking out this one ever without Jirachi. So.
Right, exactly. So that's fine. I'll retreat into Reshiram. And we are going to Blue Flare this Cleffa.
Poor Cleffa, dude.
To get it out of here.
Wow.
We'll take a prize card.
So Andrew finally played into the Twins. So now we get to search for any 2 cards. But, you know, there might be a point in the game later where we need to do that. And, you know, my plan right now is just to chill. So, do I even need anything?
Do I even need... That's me looking at my hand like, what do I need to do? I think I'm chilling.
So I really want to put this other Yanma down. The Jirachi is kind of tempting. 50 HP, okay. So I think I'll bench Yanma. Play... I think I'm cool on the Twins, actually. I'm going to go ahead. 1 splash here.
Okay.
1 there.
Okay.
And then linear attack.
The Tepig?
Tepig.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I need to have the same number of cards in my hand. How many cards in your hand?
Yes, you do. I've got 7.
Ah. Well, I will play Collector.
Okay.
And hope... You know what? I'm just going to judge you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm so used to having the same number of cards in my hand.
Right.
It's like, it'll never
I can do it. He'll never check. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, Yanmega does attack for free only if you have the same amount of cards in your hand. So, very powerful card. But you have to match hand sizes. So, we each get 4?
Yep.
So, that guarantees the hand match.
I'm not going to play anything, so I'll linear attack the Tepig.
Cool. Tepig is gone, and we are tied at 4 prizes. I'll draw for turn. And I am going to Inferno Fandango a fire energy to my Reshiram. And then I'll use Magnetic Draw number 1 to draw 2 cards. Dang, all these twins that I cannot use. Because we are tied on prizes. What do you know?
That's how it be.
That's fine. I will bench this Reshiram and attach the rescue energy from my hand to this Magnezone, and then I will magnetic draw for 2 more. Okay. I've got Professor Oak's New Theory now, and a switch. So I need to Lost Zone 3 energy to potentially take this knockout, which is fine. Do I want to switch into Magnezone, take this knockout, or just go for another blue flare? Another blue flare is fine. I'll play Professor Oak's New Theory to shuffle my hand into my deck and draw 6 new cards. And here we go, 6. I was definitely hoping for an energy so that I could just take this knockout with Reshiram. So I'll do that. I'm going to play Energy Retrieval to get 2 fire energy from my discard pile to my hands. And then I'll Inferno Fandango a fire energy to my active Reshiram. And I'll play another Energy Retrieval to get 2 more fire energy from my discard pile into my hands. And I feel like preloading my attackers is like okay in case you do something crazy. But you can't knock out this Emboar because it's evolved through Pignite. So I don't really have to worry about it going anywhere. So I guess that it doesn't really matter as much. I'll Inferno Fandango 2 onto that Reshiram and 1 onto the active. And then I'm going to blue flare for knockouts.
Yep.
And take my prize.
More with a free retreater. Draw. Cards in hand.
I've got 5.
That's a cool number. I'll Collector. For Jirachi. Just Jirachi. Cool thing about playing against Magnezone is that they have no way to gust, so you can just like bench the Jirachi and then just load energy onto it if you want, because they have no way to like interrupt it. And my game plan is to take 2 knockouts with Jirachi eventually in this game, potentially even this turn. So I'm going to go ahead and bench the Jirachi. You start a song, so I flip 3 coins. For each head, I search my discard pile for a psychic and input it on Jirachi. 1 heads. So I get the 1 back. Attach to Jirachi. And then I actually have sort of a checkmate next turn because I can Spray Splash 2 here this turn and then take a knockout on the Reshiram with the Magnezone, and then next turn I can Spray Splash the Cleffa for 1 prize and then devolve the 2 Magnezones for my next 2 prizes. So that's going to be my game plan. I already collected, so I will Manic Draw for 2. Hand is pretty good here. So what can I even do that's like better than what I was planning? I don't think anything is better than that. So I'm going to double Spray Splash the Magnezone. Front the guy with the damage on him. And then I will Lost Burn
3 to take the knockout?
Yeah.
Cool. Yep, so Will is setting up checkmate, and unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about it because we're tied at 3-3 prizes. I feel like just giving Will infinite time to set up was very bad for me in this game. And also not being able to take advantage of my Rayquaza and Deoxys Legend, and also prizing my Magneton is going to lead me to that eventual loss, it looks like. So I can't really play any of these cards in my hand. I've got Fisherman, but I have no way to protect against this eventual triple board wipe. So I can play Fisherman. Supporter card lets me get up to 4 basic energy from my discard pile back into my hand. So I'll get a lightning and 3 fire energy, which is cool, but not really a lot I can do with that. And I can Inferno Fandango another energy into play. And I'm going to use Lost Burn, and we're going to Lost Burn the fire and 2 fire here to do 150 damage, and these all go to the Lost Zone, so I'll take my prize. Going to 2 prizes remaining, but I think Will's got this one wrapped up.
So I will use 1 Spray Splash to knock out the Cleffa. Free retreat with Yanma's body. And then I will Time Hollow those 3.
Yeah.
And I'll take 2 knockouts with the Magnemites.
All right, good game. Good game.
Good game.
Yes, very cool. I think that I can win this one, though.
You definitely can, yeah.
I'm feeling like I had some bad beats getting set up. Things were a little bit slow for me.
Quite a few tails.
Quite a few tails. I feel like the Cleffa flips were not ever in my favor that time.
It's really hard for a deck like yours to overcome the Cleffa flip since you don't play reversal or anything like that.
Right. No war point, no, escape rope kind of thing. No push. It's
Nothing.
just, it's got to go my way.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that in this next game, I'm going to get like turn 2 Rare Candy Emboar, Rare Candy Magnezone, get my Rayquaza Deoxys Legend out, and just start blasting you for 2 prizes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll happen for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Turn 2 Magnezone is very strong in any deck. So good.
Right. So that's what we're going to aim for here. Now, obviously, Twins is like super helpful. So maybe I'll be more cognizant of that. I haven't played this format in a long, long time. So definitely a little bit of a learning curve there. But I'm excited to get into this next game. It definitely felt cool to have all these different Stage 2 Pokemon in play in a standard format. And you could tell that there's like a lot of moving pieces. So even just operating the deck is a fun thing to do with all the different game actions. I think it's one of the biggest draws of Gym Leader Challenge, right? Is it kind of has that feel to it where you're operating all these different abilities, and win or lose, it's like, well, at least I got to do all my different cool abilities.
Yeah, at least I got to play the game and have some fun. You know?
Right, exactly. Cool, let's get into this next game, see how it goes. I'm going to choose to go first. Or I guess like I have to go first. I don't know, whatever, I'm going first.
I don't think there's any reason to ever go second in this format.
There's literally no reason to go second, so very strange decision on Play Pokemon's part. Like, what was going on there?
Because remember, there was the format 2013 with the same rules, and like it was like the Laser Bank Thunderous format. So people would just be doing like 90 on the first turn with Darkrai sometimes too.
Yeah,
like,
that's insane. Yeah, turn 1 Night Spears. Shoo.
Yeah.
Turn 1 Night Spears. Turn 1 Raid Knuckles. Yeah.
Sometimes even a turn 1 Frost Spear.
Yeah, brutal.
Hammerhead.
Oh, man.
Really bringing it back.
All right. Okay. Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll draw for turn, and I'll attach Rescue Energy, and we'll Professor Oak's New Theory. Shuffle my hand into my deck and draw 6 cards. Didn't have anything too good in that opening hand with no other basic Pokemon, no collector, or anything like that, so just going to shuffle up and hope I can find Magnemite, Tepig, or at least a collector for next turn would be fine, honestly. There we go. We got 6 big ones. And there we are. I'll bench Tepig and Magnemite. And then I'll pass to you.
Draw for turn. Another pretty like mid start. So it looks like my best route is to Pokemon Communication Yanmega. Lets me trade that for Pokemon in my deck. Gonna take a peek at my prizes here. My Switch was the last prize last game, so really want to. It's a pretty crucial card in this deck. But I am gonna get this Cleffa, if I can find the reverse one that I saw. Yep, there it is. Then I'm just gonna attach this Lightning to Magnemite, retreat with Free Flight, and Eek.
See if you wake up.
And I do wake up.
Okay. If only Outrage did 10 more damage. I'll draw for turn. And I'll attach a Fire Energy to my Reshiram. I'll evolve my Magnemite into Magneton, which is awesome.
Very good for you.
This is extremely good. And I'll Outrage for 20 damage.
A sad 20 damage. I get 6. And then draw for turn. Wow. Quite the hand here. Bench Horsey. Evolve into Yanmega. And Eek is very tempting. How many cards in hand?
3.
Yeah, Eking is very tempting here. Yeah, 3's a little rough. Because I can't really, like, thin that bed without, like, putting myself at a disadvantage. And I don't have the Candy Kingdra. Or I have the Kingdra, I don't have the Candy. I guess I can Pokemon Communication, away Jirachi, and go find perhaps a Magneton or potentially I think I want another Yanma. I think the Yanmegas, I think I could have even won the game faster last game if I got the second Yanmega out faster, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I don't want to Judge Danger because he only has 3 cards in his hand. So I could linear attack here, but I think I want to Eek. So I'm going to Eek.
Cool. See if you wake up.
And again, all right. So it looks like I'm going to lose this game because last game last game was really fortunate. Like 7 tails in a row.
All right, we'll get 6. And I will draw for turn. I don't have too much going on, but I do have Magnezone, so that's good.
Probably should have judged you then.
I'll use Magnetic Draw to draw 3 cards. And Pokemon Collector is a pretty good card in this position, so I'll play Pokemon Collector, which allows me to search my deck for 3 basic Pokemon and put them into my hand. And what's funny is that I'm actually setting up without the Cleffa, so that's pretty good. Now, with this deck, I do want to check and make sure that the Rayquaza and Deoxys are both in my deck. I cannot Collector for them. I would love to, but I cannot, so I have to wait until I can search them out with a proper Pokemon search card. I think with this board state, it's correct to just put pressure on and not, like, get Cleffa and retreat into Cleffa and Eek. I think we're just going to pedal to the metal and go for it. So let's just get Magnemite and Reshiram. And I think that there are no more pigs. So we're going to get those 2.
Interesting.
That means that there are probably 2 pigs prized.
So that means if I knock out this Tepig, Andrew's in a horrible position if he doesn't take a prize, or at least finds a Tepig off of 1 prize.
I'll bench Magnemites. I don't think that there's a reason to decide to bench my Reshiram yet. I can wait on that. I'll attach energy for turn to my Reshiram, and I can just outrage for the knockout to take the first prize.
That's fine. And promote Yanmega. Draw. Now the third Yanma I don't really need. So here's definitely a well, how many cards do you have in your hand?
I have got 6.
Okay. That's the best number for me to hit, so pretty convenient. First thing I'm going to do is Collector. Definitely want to get another Horsey and Magnemite out. Need to be able to have 2 Spray Splashes at all times. I don't think I need the third Pokemon. So I'm just going to grab 2.
This is a tough matchup because this deck loves to go behind in prizes first, but I can't really do that strategy against your deck because you will just take all the time in the world to spread infinite amounts of damage. If I try to play the waiting game, you will outweight me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to play a reversal. Tepig.
Okay.
So now I have guaranteed knockout because you have 6 in hand, correct?
Yes.
Magnetic draw. So I can't play anything in my hand because I can't give up the Sonic Boom knockout. So I'm going to go ahead and Sonic Boom for 70.
Okay. I'll draw for turn. And got an interesting situation. I can bench Tepig. I did find another one off my prize. Very good.
Nice.
And I'll attach a lightning energy to my Magnezone. I think I want to draw more cards. It's always good. So I'll bench this Reshiram and then use Magnetic Draw for a draw of 2. Okay. And here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have not played a supporter card from my hand yet. So I'll play Pokemon Collector. And we're going to search out... I don't think there are any other basics. Nope, just the Cleffa. It's fine. So we'll grab that. Knocking out the Yanmega is definitely the play, so... Yeah, we're going to do that. And with this hand, I will Blue Flare.
Yep.
To knock out the Yanmega and take my prize.
That's fine. Promote the Yanma. We do have another Yanmega, so I'll evolve the active. And I really need to knock out that Tepig this turn, or else I'm in a really bad spot. So I will play Junk Arm, discarding Collector, and a Rainbow Energy. And I'm going to go for the reversal. Tails. That's bad. So I think I have to evolve the Magnemite on the bench. Mention another Yanma. Attach a Rainbow. And draw for 5. Cards in hand.
I've got 7.
Yeah, real bad.
Yep.
Not looking too good. So...
Trying to make it difficult for you to hand match, but I did prize a bunch of basics. I wanted to collect it for like 3 basics. Get like 9, but...
Rough. So, since my bench is full, I can't get another Cleffa, which is unfortunate. I think what I'm going to do here is Pokemon Communication, Magnemite, and trade that for. Oh, okay. Siege's prize, so I probably should have paid attention to that. I'll grab a Magnezone instead. Can't evolve with this turn, but I'm gonna need it eventually. Some rare candies would be nice because I have both Kingdra in my hand. But we did not get that lucky. So I'm going to preserve this Yanmega by retreating into the Yanma and saying pass.
Okay. That's really good for me. Definitely needed some pressure to be alleviated from my poor pigs. I do need a rare candy, though. I'll draw for turn. That's probably the next best card that I could have found as a Pokemon Communication, because it allows me to thin my hand down a little bit. And it allows me to evolve this Tepig into a bigger pig. So that's cool. I'll use Pokemon Communication, and we're going to trade the Cleffa in my hand into the deck. And we'll grab the Pignite. Pignite has got a nice 100 hit points. Look at that handsome hog. Yes. I'll evolve my Tepig into a Pignite. And then I don't have a knockout this turn because I do not have my Emboar in play. But that's okay, because Will did not really do anything last turn either. So I want to draw more cards, but I don't want to bench more Pokemon. How about that? I'll bench this Magnemite, I guess. And then I will use Magnetic Draw for a draw of 1. And I'll use Energy Retrieval to get these 2 fire energy from my discard pile into my hand. I'll attach for turn to my Reshiram. And I'm back to using, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd be better to keep 7 cards in my hand. So I'm actually not going to attach.
Fair.
And I am going to pass to you.
Draw for turn. Magnezone. Now there is a huge opportunity here to knock out the Pignite. So we're going to go for it. And it's a heads. Give me that. Give me the Pignite. I'm going in. You can have this one since it's really annoying for you to knock it out.
Yeah, this is terrible for me.
Actually, do I want to attach this yet? Because he's already in such a bad spot. I don't think that Jirachi's like ever gonna come into play. I think we can just overpower Andrew this game, but still like to play it a little conservatively. So I think I will. Do I have any just in the discard yet? There's already a rainbow in there. I think I can attach it. I guess my first draw for 3. I did grab a rare candy there, so that's pretty cool. Or a junk arm there. So I'm actually gonna junk arm away collector and the switch. And it's weird discarding the switch, but I want to be able to make all my junk arms potentially switches. So getting it in the discard is, I think, better than discarding the other junk arm or one of my 2 Kingdras. So I'm going to play Rare Candy, Kingdra, and then use my second mana draw for 4 cards. And now we are chilling. So I do have potentially another Spray Splash available if I choose a junk arm for the Rare Candy. But I don't think that's what I really want to do, because I have 1, 2 junk arm already gone. I think I'd rather save it. So I'm going to retreat into Magnezone. Spray Splash the Magnemite and Lost Burn.
This is so sad. Yeah, I prized a bunch of Tepig this game. I don't think that this deck even plays a way to recover them.
No, it doesn't.
So it's just like, okay, I guess I prized 2. So, like, if the deck only plays 3, I prize 2. And they have just been getting picked off every turn. So, kind of in a tough spot. I'll draw. And I can rare candy into this Magnezone. So I could draw lots of cards, but I can't do anything. I can attach return to this Magnezone. And I will magnetic draw for 1. Pokemon Collector again. And again, I will search my deck and reveal the fact that there are no more Tepics here. Which is so sad. Why is there no Super Rod? Come on.
Was not legal.
Super Rod. What about Ordinary Rod?
Nope.
Rescue Stretch.
There's, I think, 1 recovery card. Or there was, like, Good Rod. And, like, Flower Shop Lady is 3 Pokemon and 3 basic energy.
Yeah.
But nobody played that.
Dang, man. Just living on the edge back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. And then I'll draw 1 more card. And I feel like I have to answer this and hope for a Tepig. So I will Lost Burn and take my prize.
Cards in hand?
I've got 7.
Well, I have 8, so that's pretty cool for me.
Dang. Okay. He said that's pretty cool.
Let's see here. I could Collector to make it even easier for me. Because I do want this second. Since Andrew just gave me the free switch by knocking out my Pokemon, I don't have to junk on for it anymore. So I will play Collector. Grabbing Yanma. And that's it. I actually don't think I can. So I have 8 junk arm. Yeah, so I actually can't rare candy. I can only do like 1 thing this turn. Because I already played a supporter. I'll Spray Splash this Magnezone.
Okay.
Attach there. So I have 7. Retreat and linear attack.
Okay, for knockout?
Yep.
Cool. Draw for turn. Oh boy. How many cards are in your hand?
8.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Huh. And the rare candy rules are not instantaneous, huh?
Nope. You must wait a turn.
Just wait, that is not cool, man. Not cool.
It's cool for me.
Okay. I'll attach for turn. Should I? What should I do? What am I doing here? This seems like a surefire way to lose the game. If I bench this,
You lose.
well, then you just double splash, knock it out. But then, like, what? So do I not bench it? That seems dumb. So
Well, I would need to junk arm for the candy.
I'll attach to my Magnezone, and I can't twins yet.
Yeah, you really need to not take the first prize, so you can just play twins whenever you want.
But I can't do that against this deck, or else you'll just load up infinite damage.
True. Or I could.
So it's not good. I needed to not prize double Tepig.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was
That's
quite
fair.
bad. Because if I had an Emboar out, I think I'm chilling. Because I'm racing you, and I would just win.
Yeah.
Because I could get out the Rayquaza Deoxys Legend and just
Mm-hmm.
and finish the deal. But I don't think that that's possible. I'll bench this Cleffa, which also seems like a horrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
Draw a card, second punt. I
fit-
need different cards. I have double twins in my hand. I'm literally doing nothing.
True.
So, like, I have to force you to do it.
Yeah, you have to force me to waste resources, I guess, yeah.
Yes. Which is fine. It's not ideal, but... And I get 6 cards. Okay. Then I'll switch into Cleffa. Use one more magnetic draw. And we'll Eek. See if we wake up. We don't.
Draw for turn.
And see what Will's got.
So you Eeked, right? Okay.
Yes.
Junk Arm?
Yep.
For Rare Candy?
Be sick if I could Raihan.
Rare Candy into Kingdra.
Yeah, this is all bad now.
Bench Jirachi.
Yeah.
I don't have any energy in the discard. It's fine. I'm going to draw until I have 6 anyway. Attach. And 3. Double Splash.
Yeah.
And Linear Attack.
Yeah. That was pretty much the worst case scenario for me because all of my Tepigs went out one by one, and that allowed Will to just take those knockouts. Now, with only 2 prize cards remaining, doesn't really matter because I am out of Tepigs. All 3 are in the discard pile, and Will's got a Magnezone there that he can just finish off the game with, and there's literally no win condition for me. so that is it's not good. Yeah, but I can play Twins now. So
yes,
that's
you can.
cool. But it doesn't matter. So we'll Twins and take a look at the deck. I can get my shiny Rayquaza Deoxys Legend into play.
Okay, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could do that, but then I can't accelerate energy to it. And there's really no other plays available to me in my deck. So I'll go get the Rayquaza Deoxys Legend just to put it into play and have it look cool.
And then I'm definitely not going to reversal it next turn or anything like that.
Yes, with that, I think I will scoop. I've got literally nothing going on. And with no Tepigs, we are hopelessly at the whim of the Yanmega Magnezone deck, which seemed very good, I have to say. That deck definitely was powerful.
It's very good, yes. It's also a ton of fun to play.
I think that this deck, definitely a cool machine if you could set it up. I think in the 2 games that we saw, it really wasn't able to do what it wasn't able to establish like the dream, right?
Turn to Magnezone, turn to Emboar, this didn't happen, yeah.
Or we just want like even just getting like that game. I got the Magnezone out turn 3. That was cool, but I couldn't back it up with an Emboar because you were able to Gust knock out a Tepig, then you Gust knocked out Pignite, which that one really hurt.
That was real bad.
That was so brutal.
That was like the most clutch reversal flip of my entire life.
I think when that reversal was heads, I was looking at that reversal flip and I was like, dude, if he flips tails, I just win this game.
Yeah.
Because I just go Emboar next turn. I've got the Dream and I'm just cooking. But yeah, with that taking out the Pignite, and it's usually you never do that. You never put out one Pignite gets knocked out, one Pignite gets knocked out, one Pignite gets knocked out. You want to set up 2 at the same time.
You have to get 2.
But I prized them.
Yep.
So it was just like I have to get it into play as quickly as possible, and I can't just like not set it up. So I have to keep. If it's like I take one off the prize, he's going down, you know, because you kept knocking them out. So
well, what you could have done is you could have like taken a prize first before benching it, and then put both down if you drew it. But
had the Pignite, bro. I was ready to go.
Yeah, you did have that was I just sacked you. There's just no other words for it. Pretty lucky there, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, they were good games though. We had some really good ones. You were able to take the 2011. I took the 2004. We got to see some great Pokemon trading card game action today. Both decks that really emphasize the setup stage of the game, which is something that I like to see. I think definitely like to have you back sometime soon for some retro content, Will.
For sure, man. I'm down.
Yeah, it was awesome to have you on again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream. Huge thanks again to our sponsors, Full Grip Games and Dragon Shield. Hopefully, you guys all have a great day. I'm going to be back tomorrow with some more tabletop content. We're going to have Michael Zealy by to do some Gym Leader Challenge, which I am also very excited about. So we're going to be showing off the new 300 hit point Machamp from our upcoming Lost Origin set. So you guys all take it easy. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Later, Will. All right.